Good evening. Oh, crikey, I've done it again.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep doing that. I've got the noise on in the background because I'm watching the TV as well. I'm watching to make sure we get everything right. Welcome to the review. It's like the evening after the day before, isn't it? Me and the
After the
Mighty
Lord
Win.
Mayor's show.
Indeed. Me and the
Cleaning
Mighty
up
Win.
the shit.
We might get some more on as the eve goes on, but we'll see where we go. I suppose an honest review, but before we do and get into yesterday's game, let's do some housework. So again, welcome to everybody across all the platforms. Thanks to everybody working in the background. Don't forget to hit the like button or even the dislike. It just helps us get further as a channel to other NUFC supporters. Subscribe, it's totally free. Hit that bell button for future content. We do shows 7 days a week, so if you hit the bell, you'll be notified. If you want to help us grow, then you can become a member for the small monthly fee. That gives you a chance of winning a prize and obviously all members only content. We've got a webpage, nufctalk.tv. If you want a quick 5 minutes read, it's totally ad free. We do it for the love of the club. And it's usually Mighty Win sat next to me who fills the content. So again, if you've got 5 minutes, have a look at that. If you've got a question, and then obviously try and put a Q in front of that question, it just helps us star it in the chat. But again, apologies if we don't mention everybody's chat. We'll try and get through quite a lot today, because obviously this is the review, and your opinions and views are welcome. If you want to guarantee it, then you can use the $ to give us a super chat. Follow the instructions, and then we will read the message. All new members and gifted memberships will be highlighted as the show goes. Have we recovered, mate? I know you've had a busy day today. To be fair,
very busy day. I was actually, would you believe, I was
big close to Fulham.
I wasn't driving past. I was in a train riding past the Emirates this morning at about 10:30. And the flurry of activity out there, it was just, hundreds of people going into the stadium. And I thought, have I got this wrong? Arsenal at home today against City. But it was actually Arsenal women who were at home to City women, and the women's probably, this is not my bag.
No.
But I was absolutely astounded when I was driving back up, listening to Talk Sport, where they were doing, reports from the various WSL games. 45,000.
45,000.
45,000 at the Emirates for the Arsenal women versus Man City women.
That's some numbers, isn't it?
That's it took my breath away. I tell you what, I haven't actually checked it. It's what they said on. Let's just have a check of that.
That is crazy, I must admit.
Women's Super League, Arsenal, Man City.
Why are you saying that while you're talking? I mean, our girls did okay today. We got a result against Sheffield, 2-0. So Becky's done well, but probably go more into that tomorrow on the news show, just to give us something to talk about there. So just while Wynn's looking that up, let's have a quick look at
it's a 3 day. This is 3 Evening Standard. 3 days ago, Arsenal have sold more than 40,000 tickets for their Women's Super League opener with Man City.
It's crazy. Wow. Just having a look who's in the chats. Beer Viking, good evening. Mighty Mag, Niall Pell,
Queenie,
George, Andy Bell, and we have Georgie Eaton. Queenie's there, and that's it for now. I'm sure there'll be loads more as we go on. So having thought about it, have you thought about the game any more than what we obviously discussed post match in the reaction preview? I mean, we all was a bit aghast.
I think it's it's perfectly summed up, is it not, by Eddie Howe and by Harvey Barnes, who was sent out to face the cameras, being one of the only the very few players who could sort of hold their head up high, which we'll come to obviously when we do the merit marks. But I think they said it all. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. No, I totally agree, mate.
They were the first to admit that just nobody was playing. They were poor, and they need to pull their socks up.
I've just been having a quick look at like certain players, and obviously I've looked at J7 because he's not looked right for us all season. He's had probably 1.5 fleeting games because he had the man of the match game, and obviously he did put the ball through for Murphy against Tottenham.
And scoring. Brilliant goal yesterday, by the way. The second attempt, it was...
He did, yeah. He did well on that one.
It was, when you look back at that, normally by this time, I've probably watched the match, the full 90 minutes, probably 4 times, stopping and starting and, doing various things, but been tied up all day today. Just got back very recently, so... I haven't done that today. All I've had a chance to do today is have a look at the match of the day highlights, which I've taken something from, which we'll have a look at later on. But I haven't been able to do my usual, what I like to do. It's going to be hard to defend the indefensible, to be honest. Because
absolutely, we've got to be blunt.
The reaction has been harsh, to say the least, but deserved on this occasion, I feel. Because
go on, mate. Sorry.
No, go on.
I said what I was alluding to was the fact that we've had 5 games now, and what I'd noticed even in pre-season is the fact that we've got the likes of J7, who's played left centre, right centre. He seems to have been shifted about a lot. And I'm not excusing this because these guys are all professional footballers and should play a system, especially if they've been training with that system all week long. To me, it certainly looks like he's lost his way a little bit. We know Bruno's always going to be the guy who sits in the middle. There's never any shift with Bruno, but this season they're starting to see cracks in Bruno's game. He was culpable of multiple times yesterday of giving the ball away in vulnerable places. Obviously, the one that led to the goal. And for me, we said, when we first looked at the lineup yesterday, we both said live on air, even Chris, when Chris come on board, it's a very strong 11. There's something that you couldn't fault. It was certainly something that you look at and you start saying to yourself, well, especially in the first few minutes, they made some nice headway up on the left-hand side. Harvey Barnes, doing his magic, threw it into the middle, and obviously, like you've just said, J7 gets the goal, which unfortunately, from Willock running a little bit too early, gets us offside. But do you think it's the fact that because he's been moved around a lot, J7? I'm not excusing him. I'm just saying, is there a potential that because at this for whatever reason, and we'll come to it, is J7 being positioned everywhere, not really bedding in a normal system that he knows? Is that an excuse that we can give him?
Well, it's obviously not helping him. It can't.
No,
it can't possibly help. Any player who sits in one role the whole time is going to get used to it, get better at it, and improve. So if you're continually being switched, but has he really continually been switched? That's what I would question there. That
it's mainly left centre,
we've
isn't it?
still started with the exception of yesterday aside, because obviously it was different yesterday, because yesterday, and we were all over the moon, that a certain Mr. Longstaff wasn't playing. And yet again, when he's not there, you can call it coincidence, you can call it whatever you like. I'm his biggest critic, but does Eddie just know more than we know, and does whatever it is that he does have an effect on the rest of the team?
It is odd.
It sounds ridiculous. It sounds. I can't believe I'm saying it, because listen, this is exactly what I did when I was criticizing him a year, 18 months ago, because he was doing nothing. I felt when we were playing with 10 men when he was in the team.
Mm.
And then, but we were still somehow getting results. And then he went out of the team, and we stopped somehow getting results. So I readdressed the situation and said, look, it's obviously me. I'm thick as shit. I know nothing. I need to go back to school and learn about football. But then he came back and he's doing the same stuff again and again and again. In my opinion, my little mind, not contributing to the team at all, by the odd goal here and there, the one performance in 10. And no, I came to the conclusion, no, you're not thick, son. You were right all along. That was just a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah.
But yet again, the same things happened again. He's not in the team, and we end up shipping 3.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I said, there's a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see and not privy to. But I can't just say that Longstaff would have changed anything apart from giving you the hard yards. That's like saying, would it have been better to play Miggy because he chases everything? He gives you the mileage in his legs. I'm not saying that he's the best one, but is it the fact that we had too many pretty players on the park yesterday and not enough guys that are just going to run unselfishly for you? And that's the argument, isn't it? It's like you're trying to find an excuse now for why probably on paper one of our strongest lineups has failed again so miserably. But the one thing that I've looked for me, it's like I've been on social media bits and pieces today, especially just before the show, just to try and get a feel. And obviously, everybody's pointing the finger at individuals. Everybody's pointing the finger at Howe. Everybody's pointing the finger even at the likes of Mitchell behind the scenes. Because I think at this present moment in time, it is just frustration. We are 5 games down the line. Yes, there is an element of luck for us to be unbeaten, I suppose. But the team spirit, when you look at where we've been, in the past, we started against Southampton, got a player sent off, and it literally was every man for himself to stop them, to stop the goals going in. And yes, we were on the back foot, but it seemed as if there was a lot of camaraderie, and we all said, bloody hell, that was a tough watch because we are just camped in our own half. And then it moves on to the Bournemouth game, and then obviously the Bournemouth game we go behind, and with the way we've played, you expect them just to drop their heads and re-go. But we didn't get that. We actually went back and we got a goal. And yes, again, I'm not saying we played great football, but to me, what it did show that there was a bit of team spirit there, that they were all fighting for the cause. And even though the football wasn't great, it was still something that you could say, you know what, the lads are really trying their hardest here. Even at Southampton, you think, sorry, at Spurs at home, we were under the cost of a lot of the game. But when we come to play a little bit of football, in actual fact, we played, the correct football. We looked for the through balls. We got up behind them now and again because of the way Tottenham play and come away with the results. Again, it's a bit of togetherness. And like I say, they didn't look like they were going to score all day.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Pope did have a couple of good saves, but it was a mistake that led to their goal. And it showed yesterday. They've capitalised on 3 mistakes for us giving them the possession back.
The crazy thing is, here's the absolutely crazy thing, because we played crap yesterday.
Yeah,
absolutely crap.
Worst one of the season.
And yet, because I would actually put that down as the worst performance under Eddie. The previous worst one was Aston Villa away 2 years ago, and this one is up there with that. It's worse than that. Same score as it happens. But the stupid thing about yesterday was, if Shea buries that effective open goal, all of a sudden it's 2-2. And who would you then fancy to go on and win that game? I know who I would fancy to go on and win it, and that would have been us. And that was after playing dogs for 70 minutes. And if it wasn't for Bruno's suicide pass, in injury time virtually, we could have still got something out of it. That's how crazy this game is.
Crazy it was. Yeah, it's true. For me, it was more the fact that, like, I look at it and I went yesterday. We have started poor. I'm not going to give the lads any excuses. But yesterday was probably the first time that I actually saw there wasn't that much togetherness. I mean, as daft as it looks, if you rewatch it,
the thing for me yesterday that was missing virtually across the park was body language.
Yeah.
And
that's what I said. There was nobody worked for each other.
And belief. There were a couple of balls that Gordon just didn't bother fighting for that he could have done. There was, well, there was it the second goal or the second goal, Smith Rowe's goal, which I've got some stuff on. What goes on? You can argue that it's a very good goal. You can argue it's a very good goal, but you can also argue that that's a lot. I'll tell you what. I'll shove that up now. 2 seconds.
Because I don't know whether you read Lee Ryder's just while you're looking for that.
Yeah. Fire away.
Lee Ryder's put something in the Chronicle, and again, I'm taking this tongue in cheek to a degree. The unseen Newcastle warm-up moment as Magpies failed to deliver Paul Mitchell's non-negotiables.
You're on about trips.
It's a Trippier, yeah. So, and this is something that we often say, like, we don't see the start of every match, but obviously this has been a massive highlight to a lot of people, and it was like, obviously, what's happening behind the scenes, nobody knows. But obviously, you've got Dan Byrne, who was obviously the senior dressing room leader. Eddie Howe lectures around intensity is our identity and everything else. But that was last season. This season, there doesn't seem to be a lot going on. But it says here, like, and this is what he's written down. The day has started with Howe ringing the changes again, with Lloyd Kelly in from the start and Joe Willock handed an opportunity in midfield. Harvey Barnes and Kieran Trippier were also starters for Howe, but something wasn't right from the offset. During the warm-up, which featured a pre-match downpour, a frustrated Trippier was seen trying to gee up players and seemingly demanding more intensity as he waved his arms in the air. Was something not right as early as the warm-up? Now, I think that to me, if there is a little bit of there's a little bit of a problem going on when your lads can't even go out there and even give a correct warm up, then there's issues, mate. Then there's issues that's got to be sorted because you're starting off on the wrong foot, aren't you? And we saw that with the body language. Where was the effort of getting back? I mean, there was one from. Anthony Gordon was poor with it the entire game. A couple of times where it was like a 50-50 effort. He went so far, but then just dropped back further and further. And it was the same. There was a couple of them that went marauding on runs going forward, but as soon as the ball was lost, it was like, well, I'm not interested now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the attitude. Hi, Steve.
Got Steve joining us. Evening. Just wait there, Steve. I'm just going to put these this lot up here. This was Emil Smith Rowe's goal. If you remember, Smith Rowe had run into this position, and then he's played the ball to Iwoji, whatever the name is, and Trips he's got his arms out there. He's telling Shea to go with him because this kid is coming here and down here, and Trips knows that he's going to have to cover him when he gets past here. So he's saying to Shea, get in there. Now we'll look good here. He's covered, except both of these attackers can see that the defender's numbers on their backs, which is never a good thing. And so it means they can't see them. They may know they're there, but as it turns out, it's irrelevant. But that's just a point. But they're getting back in the right place. We've got plenty cover there. We've got a spare man here, Bruno. He's covered Smith Rowe's run, and when he's about to make the tackle, Smith Rowe's played the ball to this guy. So that's where we are now.
That was Iwobi, wasn't it?
That was Iwobi, yeah.
Yeah.
So Trips is saying to Shea, get in on him. I'm going to take this runner when he comes past. So if we move on to the next one, he's now... That's the same one, sorry.
No, it's not. Because you see him just put his foot out there.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. So
there you go.
So he's just now made to pass the ball into that space there, which is going to come. I think he's meant it for these two runners here, because you can see that they can see. I
think you're giving him an injustice there, Matty. I think
one of them should be out.
Yeah, I think he's played that ball perfectly, if I'm honest.
You could see it's irrelevant. It was a give and go. But Bruno tries. Shea still hasn't gone towards him, because Bruno, in the one before, Bruno's got Smith Rowe, so Shea doesn't need to worry about Smith Rowe. Trips is telling Shea to get on Iwobi. Right now, Shea doesn't. So, like I say, we'll move on to the next one. He's passed the ball. Bruno tries to intercept it, but he's hit it with sufficient force that his leg's going out too late, so it's coming over there. Shea is still nowhere, hasn't gone towards him. He's effectively moving backwards. And as you say, the Trips was right, because this runner's now overlapping. These are all within a second a second and a half. These frames, because obviously we're not allowed to show movement, and now the ball has come into Smith Rowe, because Bruno's in trying to intercept the ball. His feet are all wrong, so he can't move as quick as Smith Rowe's moving. You could argue Bruno should have been with him, but it was really slick, quick passing. And if that had been overhit, as I say, it would have been coming straight here anyway, because Bruno still hasn't got there, and Shea hasn't prevented it by going towards it. And the big thing after that, of course, is that it's a tuppence halfpenny shot that Pope should put his cap on, to be honest, and
absolutely,
more or less throws in the net, which we'll come on to later. But it just shows, if we go back to the first one, Trips can see it, and it refers to what you were saying about Trips getting people, trying to G people up in the warm-up, that he's telling them what to do. He's saying, get on him. I've got this kid to worry about. But he doesn't. Bruno can see him
also
pointing. So Bruno makes an effort and tries to intercept the ball, but Shea is still static.
What's also evident on that first slide you just did there
and the rest
was the fact that you have no support whatsoever from any of your wingers.
The first one.
Yeah, so from the first one there, look, as you can see, what you've got there is 6 players in a white shirt, all headed to the box versus 6 of ours. So it's man v man at that point.
Well, no,
so we've got 5. No support.
To be fair, you've got.
Well, you haven't, have you? Because you have. I mean, in the shot,
you've got 5 white and 6.
No, you haven't. You've got 6 whites. Look at them.
Yeah.
You've got 6 whites in the shot, 3 on the right, 3 on the left.
Yeah, because
you've got 6 players.
Isn't tracking him back.
No, exactly. See, so that's what I'm saying. This is what you lose when you've got forward mind thinking players, and I think that's the reason why Eddie decided not to put Hall and Tino on, because of these overloads, and we saw that again in the second half when Hall was on. When he went going up the field, the left back position was wide open virtually all the time. And obviously with Iwobi on the left hand side attacking for them, and Traore on the right, what you end up with is, as you saw there, man v man on attack, and that all broke down literally from us having that having a player, which was Willock,
well, believe it or not,
out on the left hand wing, throwing the ball to them.
That move started. Emile Rowe got the ball that he ran forward with the later Iwobi.
Yeah.
With a very unfortunate ricochet of Bruno. That if you take that move back, it started with a unfortunate. It was lucky, if you like, but they made the most of that. Look.
Yeah, the first goal came from Joe Linton giving the ball away in the midfield.
Yeah, that was
away.
That was poor.
I
think that was poor.
Yeah. So Joe Linton gave the ball away in the first, and Shaw didn't get
the turnover creating that goal, I would class as very unfortunate. The turnover that created that first goal, I would say, was self-destruct.
Absolutely. I mean, that one, what they did there is they overloaded. It was 3-on-1 at one stage with Trippier. When the ball come off Willock, went into their midfield, and they distributed the ball out to their left wing with Iwobi. It was 3-on-1 at one stage, and that's why you get Shea then coming out of position out the middle, because he realised that he was in trouble. It was only when Bruno come that Shea then, instead of blocking the goal, because obviously they were expecting a shot, you're in no man's land then, because you're leaving the wide open space, as you saw in the middle of the park.
As I say, on that particular play, Bruno did very, very well. It was a very unlucky bounce off him that gave Smith Rowe the ball. He was quick to recover, and it was the fact that Bruno had made as much ground on Smith Rowe that prevented Smith Rowe just having a straight run at Shea and a shot at goal. And the fact that Bruno got there meant that he couldn't, so he had to pass it out.
Yeah. It was a real strange one. Like I say, I've never known a game.
It was a good goal as well.
Oh yeah.
When you say the options, when Iwobi got the ball, ultimately his options then, like I say, you're saying I'm doing him an injustice. Maybe I am, but I thought the ball he played was actually meant for the two that were the other, that both moved into the centre of the box.
Yeah, well, I mean, all I'm saying to you is he played the ball across to get rid of 3 of our defenders, and it took all 3 of them out of the game. And that's what I said. Smith Rowe then had the touch, and to be fair, like I say, he had the little dink with his foot towards goal, and I thought, blimey, you are literally going to just throw your hat on that, Popey. But I don't know what Popey was doing there. To be fair, Steve, how are you, Macy?
I was going to say it because we've got just 2 seconds, Steve, if you don't mind, because I want you to have your proper say. Just before we do that, let's have a look at because there's a few comments that are relative to what we've discussed so far, and we tend to get behind on the comments. So we've got Niall saying, in my opinion, Eddie's lost the dressing room. Few players underperforming, okay, but the whole team, it's a point. It's a point of view.
Point at the minute.
Pope's shoulder has gone. He can't even catch on the cold, simple balls. Kelleher, Liverpool wants a new club and is young. Yeah, well, he had a great game yesterday.
He did, yes.
Gordon has 1 foot in Anfield. Get rid as soon as possible. And Isak. Get Ewan Ferguson as our number 9. He's strong, will fight and win the ball and score. What else have we got? Got some more Mark Queenie. Who used up their quarter of swearing and could get thrown in the county jail if they swear around young ones? Ooh, that must be me getting me wrist slapped for the live.
For the live feed.
Sorry, Queenie. And this relates to what you were saying, Gary. J7's best suited out wide left. Seems to be the role he's most comfortable with. Helps defensively, helps the fullback defensively a lot, and not as much responsibility as being actually one of the midfield 3. The only difference between this game and the others is that we had no personality or attitude as we did before. The football was the same shit we've been saying all season. Oh, Queen will be after you for that, Chris.
I mean, it is difficult just to blame one person, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, we have the options of Barnes and Gordon wide left, which means J7 ends up as one of the 3 midfielders.
Mm-hmm.
But currently, he's a liability in our current system. Not entirely his fault, though. I'm not going to argue with that. I still think he can do a job on the left of a midfield 3. Yeah, Viking. Oh, I look ran out like Mighty Wins blue pills, and we went flat.
Niall's made a good point, so I've just highlighted that one.
Yeah. It's the constant changing of defence that causes us grief as well as non-existent midfield with world-class tenacity having a snooze on the bench. Yeah. Well, we're going to come on to Tenali, of course. That could be a show all on its own. Boxy again. Awful goal to concede. Too easy for Fulham. No player taking responsibility. Defence also have 0 protection from our midfield.
You see, Eddie does like to change his team to opposition. We know that, and he's stated that on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
My concern is you lose your continuity. And
well, I like the lineup, as you know, yesterday. I wouldn't have been bothered if either or Tino or Hall had been on, as I said, but we definitely needed either Kelly or Trippier on. The fact that he went with them both, I wasn't too bothered about. I was quite happy with that away from home, as opposed to going for the more attacking option. But it patently did not work. Why do people think Eddie's going to change? He doesn't know his best team. He's incapable of tactical changes, always plays the same formation, and doesn't know how to rotate his squad. He has hit his peak.
Yeah.
Second Fulham goal is from a throw-in. Bruno had no involvement in that play apart from being useless. Well, I need to check that again. I think I'm pretty.
Yeah, I think the ball goes to them from a Willock challenge, and Willock toe pokes it away from the Fulham player, which then falls to whoever plays centre midfield for them. I forget now without having the screen in front of me.
Was it Willock who?
It was Willock who toe pokes it away.
Right. I thought that was Bruno. Sorry, beg your pardon.
And then obviously it goes down, and Bruno's then just chasing back, and obviously doesn't get anywhere.
And Foxy's also saying quite rightly there that prior to that, Smith Rowe hit the ball when Bruno gave the ball away. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The point I'm making is that the turnover that caused the goal was, in my opinion, unfortunate. The turnover that caused Smith Rowe's shot, as I said earlier on, that was very much, self-destruct homemade.
Yeah.
But hang on, have we got a glass half full here? Calm down.
We have.
Fulham, Palace, Brentford, Wolves, very tough teams to beat. I think Newcastle will finish top 6 at least. Well, so do I, Alex. So it's nice to know I'm not the only one who's a nutcase. He continues. Newcastle are restricted in the transfer window, so Howe can only do so much. Gordon, Barnes, Isak are brilliant players. Well, we'll come on to that shortly as well. So, still going on. Losing is regrettable. Seeing the attitude and aptitude of most of our players is disheartening, to say the least. Very philosophical, Jam Stasher. And beer.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? You don't mind losing if the lads try. And that's what I said. I saw a lot of effort in certain spells. What I couldn't see is any effort in trying to get back when they lost the ball and retain the ball back. I mean, as daft it looking, when you watch it back, that game could have ended 5-3.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it was. If everybody had taken their opportunities during the game, it could have ended 5-3 easily.
Yeah, and we can't say he's incapable of tactical changes. We saw the game management at Wolves work. Yeah. Is it time for Eddie to go? Says Kishinanda. Well, we're going to come on to that as well.
Yeah.
And perhaps people will start listening to the fans with football brains and stop hiding everything behind a table after 4 or 5 games. I'm not sure which way that's even meant, Beard, but I suppose you're saying that the table doesn't mean a thing. Anyway, as Chris has said, let Steve speak.
The master has spoken.
Who was it? You were incidentally the last starred comment.
What's that? All right. I agree with the two of you. The way the game was, I found it, as you said, it was some good spells. Very lazy in, as you said, lose the ball, wasn't chasing after it. I think that first goal being scored against us cost us. And I think that's pushed the rest of the game then. We were trying to do catch up. We had a good goal disallowed. And I think the team didn't get back into formation quick enough. And then you saw how quick they scored their goal after we'd had out disallowed. And I think
it was crazy, wasn't it?
As typical, heads went down and it was catch up. And we played that typical way of playing when we're trying to get a goal back. And then we went 2-0 down. And then that was it. And that is it. It was Barnes that, again, that pops up and scores. I don't know what's going on with Isak. I'm surprised actually with that injury he had. I'm surprised he actually started him. because that to me wasn't fully fit. You know, just to start the game, he should have maybe changed.
Let's go. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start with.
He loves his tunes, Howard, doesn't he?
With the lineup, because you've just brought Isak up. Was Isak fit? Because I tell you what, I would really, really like to know whether Isak required an injection to start that game.
I mean, he seemed as if he was running freely. He just didn't want to bother with any 50-50s, which
Exactly.
I always question that. When a player's not committed to a challenge, what's in his mind?
Yeah.
Or is it the gaffer? As the gaffer said to him, you're the only one I've got at the minute. Pull back. Because that's what happens.
Well,
I've done it myself.
If that's the case, then I'm not happy.
No, I know. But that's what happens. When you've only got one player in a position, you do ask them to hold back a little bit.
You either not risk him because he can't go in full on challenge. Either we should have started with Gordon in his place, or giving Asula a chance, a start. Give him a start. Give him a chance to show what he can do. At the end of the day, we cannot risk a player from getting at worse injury, which he has done. And as you said, he's pulling back. He's not maybe doing the full-on challenges that he would do if he hadn't had the injury, the facial injury.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, for me, there's a couple of things.
The facial injury is out the window now, isn't it, surely?
Yeah. That's clear.
He's still an injury, isn't it? He's still got an eye thing. He's in the worst.
But obviously, they wouldn't have played him if he,
no. It was the foot thing that was the potentially going to keep him out.
Yeah.
But
that was the new thing.
The ball to the face, and the injury, like you said, it affected his eye. So, as I suppose it's not just the foot. He's got to be careful of his face.
Oh no, I think if there was any problem with his vision at all, he wouldn't have played. He wouldn't have played. No, this was his.
He can't risk his eyesight. Yeah, I mean that's what I said. I mean even if it was a broken nose, like a real bad fracture, we saw that with Mbappe. You wear the masks, the protection masks, and even they aren't 100%. I mean, we saw Mbappe take another blow to the nose and was taken off, even wearing the masks. They don't give you the full protection because they can't.
No.
But it's a hard one. I think his mindset was probably the fact that it's 50-50 whether I was going to play. I need you for the Man City game, so don't go mental. And that's what it looked like to me, because everything was very.
I wouldn't have played him. I wouldn't have played him.
Well, to be fair, like I said, Asula's on the bench. You've got a striker. Even if
he ended up putting them on.
Yeah. Even if you give him 45 minutes, give the lad 45 minutes. See where we go. Because, like I said, Isak was not even in the game. You were carrying him from the start of the whistle. So for me, just get another lad on. That's gonna run for you. Because as much as Isak didn't do, I'm sure he could have done just the same, if not, better. So for me, it didn't make any sense.
But actually, the thing is, even when he put Asula on, he didn't take Isak off. He took Gordon off, even though it was just for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Isak was still
on. Gordon played number 10, didn't he, for a while? And then he drew Gordon because obviously he wanted to play two up top then with Isak and Asula. Because Isak then, when they did all the swap around and they changed the formation, he put Anthony Gordon in the number 10 slot. And for a very small period of time, it actually upset the balance of Fulham. We actually got on top of Fulham doing that because they then hadn't got a clue who to mark. It disrupted their midfield. Their back four all of a sudden become man-to-man because of the formation. And to me, that was where we were going to get in behind. And that's what I said. If Shaw, I mean, again, I'm still questioning why was Shaw so far up the field when he hit the ball. If Shaw would have got that one back towards Isak to score, to make it 2-2, that game may have totally changed literally there and then.
It would have changed. It would have. You know, it would have transformed.
But
everything.
I think what is value. What I've seen from this now is the fact that you lose both Harvey Barnes because of the way we play. You lose both Harvey Barnes or Anthony Gordon on the right hand side because they're bit part players on the right hand side. We do not concentrate.
Well, you
our
were
football down there.
you were saying you wanted to see Barnes on the right, weren't you?
But that's what I'm saying. I'd love to see Harvey Barnes work more to the right hand side because I know he's got a much better left foot. The biggest problem is I think you'll have two players frustrated, and I'm not 100% sure whether the biggest problem we are facing with Anthony Gordon at the minute is because he's being asked to play right wing, and that's just not Anthony Gordon where he wants to be. Even though he started left, he come across on the left hand side and they swapped because the gaffer saw he was getting nothing. He wasn't tracking back. He wasn't doing anything, and to try and stimulate, poke the fire, he then said to Anthony, "Come and play on the left hand side, and Harvey go on the right." Oh, Harvey still, coming to the game. He was certainly more involved in the game than Anthony Gordon was on the right hand side. I just don't think at this present moment in time, because of their system and our fullbacks, we linked up very well. I don't know why Trippier didn't go forward at all. It looked like we were very respectful of them rather than trying to change their way of thinking to cope with us. It was if we were just going to go a flat four and everybody else go and do your work. And that just doesn't work. You don't get no fluidity from the back. You don't overload in spaces like we've seen in previous games, and that's where you can start dominating the ball. But when it become like literally 1-on-1 at the back because of their number 10 slot, which obviously Smith Rowe was picking up, it was just far too easy for them. Far too easy at times. But while we're here, let's have a look at Eddie Howe's comments. Now, I'm obviously not going to play it. I'm just going to say it as I see it. The boss is also hold on, well, I've missed something here. Eddie Howe believed our performance on Saturday's 3-1 defeat at Fulham was the worst we've played, feeling we've conceded awful goals, which were too reactive and were not good enough defensively. The boss also accepted that they made mistakes in rushing Joe Willett back into a starting 11 after a recent thigh injury. Well, I don't believe that. I just think having two left-sided centre midfielders on the same park in different areas just literally made it all unbalanced. And we all said that within the first 15, 20 minutes. It just looked unbalanced. And then he says, admitted the move backfired and it was his fault, but was made to reward him for his positive cameo at Wolves. 2-0 flattered us at half-time, and all three goals were conceded were poor, whether it be standoff defending for the first, Nick Pope's weak hand for the second, or Bruno Guimaraes' awful giveaway in his own box. Speaking to the media about the performance after the game, Howe said, today was the worst we've played, especially in the first half. In the other games, it's not been perfect, but there's been solidity. But today, defensively, we were not good enough, and we're going to have to put a lot of work in to put it right. First half, we were too reactive. Fulham played well, but we conceded a poor first goal. It's difficult to go away from home when you give them help, and the first half was tough. Howe then took some of the blame for his team selection, feeling he may have made the wrong call with Willock. Not sure whether that's true. Joe did so well against Wolves, and I felt it was right to reward him with a start. But then you see the game, and I question whether it was the right decision from myself. I'll take full responsibility for that. Joey's just back from injury and done very well to come back. He's such a big player for us, and I was keen to see him play, but it was a tough one for him and the team. It's not something I want to be doing, but I felt we needed to do it for the game and our performance. I'm not sure whether Willock is the problem or the reasons why we didn't perform. Like I say, for us that were watching it live and doing the watch along, it was very open that you had both J7 wanting to squeeze to the left as well as Willock, which left Bruno virtually solo and solitary for big parts of that game. So I was unsure of where they were coming from with that score regarding the team selection. Have you got anything to say on that, Win?
Well, as I say, the team selection, I was happy with it, I've got to say. But I did mention at the time as well, as long as Isak was fit. As I said, it would be lovely to know if he needed an injection. If he needed an injection, I'd say, then leave him out. Give us Sula. I wouldn't have played Gordon there because for me, Gordon doesn't work there. But I would have definitely given Asula a go. If the plan was to start Isak and get 45 minutes out of him or whatever, again, I never have a problem with starting with your best lineup. But Isak, for me, just hasn't been at the races for weeks now. And yesterday was his worst performances of the lot. What's worse for me, and yesterday was just indicative for me of what's been going on all season. That just does not seem to be the fire and it's the old intensity is our identity, and there's no question that the performances and the body languages have all been wrong since Amanda went and Mitchell came in. Now, is that coincidence or is it cause and effect?
Yeah. It's a hard one, isn't it?
Has anybody? I've been trying to find them and I can't. Has anybody seen? You remember Eels when Amanda was here, and we did the dressing room victory photographs. Amanda and Dad were always there with Eels, there. And the chairman, if he happened to be on the scene. Has anyone seen Eels, Mitchell, or Bunce in any of the victory photographs this season? Because I've looked for them and I can't find them.
No, I agree. I just find
it sounds stupid. It sounds stupid, but there is a thing that showed that the whole club was pulling in the same direction. The whole club was celebrating a victory. Have we got a situation now where things are destroying that unity behind the scenes? Because if we have, it needs to be sorted one way or the other. If that means getting rid of Eddie and getting somebody else in, so be it. So be it. I wouldn't be happy, but so be it. But we cannot, if this is a cancer, and it's starting to destroy. It's starting to split the fan base. It's starting to split, obviously, the hierarchy at the club. And a divided club will get you nowhere. We are a long, long way now from the euphoria that I was enjoying 12 months ago. A long, long way from that. Yeah. And I am sad because of that.
Yeah, it is a tough one because, like I say, we made a comment before, didn't we, about like the issues behind the scenes. There seems to be a little bit of smoke. We're not sure how much fire there is, but we said, it doesn't matter. Get on with your job as long as it doesn't affect what's going on the park. Now, is it starting to affect what's going on in the park? Is Eddie, is Eddie saying,
your eyes tell you that it is?
Of course it does. That's what I said. Us as fans only see what's going on the pitch. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and that's what I'm saying. It made a bit of a point to me because obviously I don't know whether you saw Becky Langley's interview, the post-match interview, where somebody in the crowd, I'm not sure. Well, no, I'm not sure who it was that asked the question. It might have been Matt actually. Said, do you speak to anybody at the club? I'd have a guess who she said. Every day, Mitchell. Or most days. He's been very supportive, always involved, and come down to training the other day, And that's what I'm saying. To me, it's like you've got two immovable objects. one lad who's willing to get on with it, and the other one saying, I don't want to do it your way. And that's what it feels like to me. And if it is Eddie that's throwing his toys out the pram, then somebody needs to get him a bigger pram so we can keep him inside. To me, it's a little bit on a strange things. Steve, how do you feel about what we've just discussed?
Oh, yeah, I can see as I said, since Amanda left, and there's just seemed to be a slight difference of morale in the players. As you said, the hierarchy don't seem to be there in the dressing room. They don't seem to be doing the same as what Amanda did. And I think it could be a factor. It could be a factor. I don't know, but it's not affected the women's team though.
No, not at all. That's what I'm saying. They seem to do really well. Yeah.
It's a good result, 2-0. But yeah, the men's team, maybe it is, and until maybe this situation of players coming in and our financial situation is sorted, maybe some players don't know where they are, and some are thinking, are we going to be out here in January? Is there going to be bringing new blood in? And I think a few players are maybe nervous about what their futures are going to be. And that could be affecting their game and their morale.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Steve, but I understand, change does affect anybody. I mean, we've all worked in industries where you work alongside change on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And you have to just take it on the chin. Whether you like it or not, you take it on the chin and you get on with it. Has there been too much change at the club? I mean, is that what the problem is? Is the fact that we've got
there hasn't been
a massive change? Huh?
Well, there hasn't been a change other than
there has, hasn't there?
Getting replaced by Mitchell.
Yeah, we got two respected people who are in the hierarchy and have left. People that maybe they felt that they could go to and speak to on more of their level. Whereas you got a new guy, Mitchell, they don't know him. They maybe find that maybe he's going to be more of a bossy boss than Amanda and Mirad was. They just seem to be more approachable, maybe. And these players maybe don't have that person that they can go to now. And that could be part of it.
I quite like what Michael said there. Yeah. I mean, it is interesting to see, like I say, again, I'm not an Eddie out guy at all. I'm not saying that we need a change in management. I don't think we need to change anything at the minute. I just think there needs to be a togetherness.
Me neither.
And at the minute, I just think at the minute we haven't got that togetherness, and I don't know where it's come from, why it's been caused or anything. But until we get that solidity, it's just going to hamper us, because the media are just pushing and pushing and pushing to try and get this fire to actually get into a blaze. And it's really funny, because I saw on some of the stats that I look at generally for me and Winning the Week to talk about during the day. I saw it on there that Opta, on current form, had got us down in 16th place after the next 5 games. If on our current form.
Yeah.
You can say what, sorry?
Opta had got us down in, I think it was either 14th or 16th place. It wasn't 15th, it was 14th or 16th place.
After the next
if all the results go against us and we continue on this downward spiral, they could see us in that position.
Well, if that happens, Eddie's out, simple as.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, we can't just look at stats, because you have to look at team as well. But
the way I look at it, I was having an argument with good old Roy Boy on the forum last night.
I wouldn't say argument, a debate, sir.
No, I think it was an argument. And I'm saying, we're 2 points off the top. We're sitting in 6th place. What are you worried about, man?
Mm.
And he's saying, because we're shit, because we're lucky, because we're... No. He says, by tomorrow, we could be 8, and we could be 5 points off the top.
Yeah.
Well, Roy, why not? We're still 6th, and we're 3 points off the top now. We're still within a game of the top of the league. And what I'm saying now, here we go, the mighty wind predicts. Everybody knows yesterday that there were dogs. Everybody knows it.
Mm.
What better opportunity to turn round to the world with one finger and say, oh, you think we're shit, do you?
Yeah.
And then go and turn the mighty Man City over.
Win, do the talks, do the chats. I'm just going to loose my dog out because he's scratching at the door. I'll just go off the camera for a second.
So what we've got here is angry old noob gamer. The rumour mill is worse about Newcastle. Not a day goes by without the media or our own fans starting rumours for clicks. Well, that happens a lot, of course. Mark Todd, I was expecting to see the pressing game that was so successful for us. We used to do it brilliantly, especially with only having one game a week. How wrong I was. You and me both. Brandt. Hello, Brandt. Welcome back. Howe started making comments while in Germany first, and that's when it began, in my opinion. Then when Trips was stripped of the captaincy and Barnes being unhappy not starting, it's rolled on from there. Valid points. Michael, is this the one Gary was on it? We were on such an upward trajectory since the takeover. It was bound to plateau, but we seem to be going backwards as opposed to just plateauing. We're going back down the other side. Fair point. It's obvious there was some corporate boardroom bullshittery as to why Amanda and Murdad left. Well, I don't think there was, to be fair. I'll come back to that. Hope it's just Howe staying loyal to an ally, and should be resolved with time. No, I think the reason why Amanda and Murdad left has become pretty apparent now. It's that they were in a financial mess. They needed some money. The way to get that money was to get out. And that simultaneously PIF had been unaware of the financial pithole that we were in with regard to FFP, which resulted in having to try and basically when Bruno didn't get sold on the 24th of April, which everybody was expecting to happen, they were expecting either City or PSG to pay the release clause, which would have solved all the problems. When that didn't happen, all of a sudden they were left with a week to sort things out. That was so their only plan B was to sell Anderson and Minty and get the money off Ashworth, or offer Anthony Gordon to Liverpool behind his back, which is obviously, I think, pissed him off, which could account for some of his poor performances. So corporate boardroom bullshittery, as you put it, I think was more down to the fact that PIF did not want to be associated with business partners who've just been forced into liquidation and who had to borrow money to be in there in the first place, to stay in there, and then to get out to pay, to prevent them being in even more financial trouble. So, but it's still a valid point you're making, of course. But nonetheless, Amanda going, for me, has had a very, very detrimental effect. I don't believe the background stuff is affecting the players as much as situations like Trips, Barnes, Gordon, etc. It's more the locker room than the big heads changing. Well, that's. I don't know if I agree with that. You can come on anytime you want, and we'll have a debate about that, Brandt. It's obvious there was corporate boardroom bullshit as to why they left. Hopefully, sorry, we've already done that one. Chris, what's it? If every player is not performing well due to Amanda leaving, we need to fumigate all the players immediately.
House them down.
These guys get well paid to do a job. Stop and crying over spilt milk and get on with the job, Eddie.
Yeah, it's true.
Amanda and Maydad had to leave due to PSR debacle, and Amanda's company going into liquidation. Imagine if she was still there. Yep, that's exactly. Sorry, I didn't know you were coming up with that, Niall, but you're spot on. Foxy, 16th place. But Will said we're in the title challenge only 2 days ago. Surely not. Well, you see, you're amalgamating two completely separate statements there. I've never said we'll be in 16th place. Gary is simply saying that Opta Stats have forecast that if the next five results go against we could be in 15th
and other teams,
or 16th place.
Yeah, and other teams get the results.
And I still maintain that we're in a title challenge. So there you go. As I keep on saying, form is temporary, class is permanent. And we have class players. If Opta is right, he's gone. Absolutely, yeah. If Opta is right, he is gone. No doubt about that. Newcastle, he supposedly brought in an expert from Leicester to sort out the finances. Unfortunately, he must have lost his calculator during the war. I don't know who that was. I haven't heard any financial.
It's that lad. He's the lad who sits in the background. I can't remember his name now. I'm going to say the one with glasses, but that doesn't mean nothing, does it? Steve somebody, I think his name is.
Yeah, so there we go. That's all the comments to do with that. And we haven't even started yet. Sorry, we're on the lineups anyway. So, well, what did you think of the lineup first of all yesterday, Steve? Let's assume that Isak was fit.
Maybe could be that we'd made too many changes up front because we made 4 changes.
Well, no, we started the team that finished against Wolves. So we're behind against Wolves.
Yeah, but it was still 4 changes.
Then we'll put the big 3, as I call them, Bruno, Bonds, Isak, and Gordon up front, and that won with the game. So that was the 3 that was started with today. It was the midfield. It was the missing Tenali, which has been causing all of the
still can't understand it,
because that's what nobody could comprehend, why he suddenly decided to go with Willock and Joey Linton with Bruno instead of Tenali and one or the other, which would have then given us an option from the bench.
I just think Isak, as I said, not being 100%, shouldn't have started him. As I said, he was.
So who would you have started with?
I would have either started with Gordon up front, or I would have given Asula a chance. Saved Isak for the Man City game. Get him 100% to make sure he's ready for that game, because that's when we need him. Fulham should have been. I'm not saying Fulham should have been an easy game, but we should have got a better result out of it. And even if we just got a draw, I would have been happy. But for some reason, we just doesn't seem to have it. And that squad, it was a good squad. We put a good squad out. I just don't know. Maybe Willock hasn't trained with the squad enough. I just saw a lot of lethargic, losing the ball.
Well, that was the trouble. And again, this is a phrase that came up yesterday from our good old gaffer-in-chief, is if 1 or 2 players have bad performances, it's down to the players. If they all have bad performances, it's down to the manager.
Yeah.
And it's starting to ring a bit true.
Yeah.
So right, okay. So that the lineup, as I say, but I think most people, apart from Tenali, the elephant in the room, I think everybody agrees that now, and it'll be well, you can argue Wimbledon, but we'll leave Wimbledon till we do the preview, because I still think we'll put our best team out against Wimbledon. It's the one competition we can seriously think about winning. But anyway,
Foxy, has Gordon had a top performance for us when he's up front? I think that's simple to say. No.
Nope.
He's too lightweight. I don't think he does a job for me. I'm going to put a question to you guys in the panel. Shame there isn't more of us to do this one, but Alexander Isak, did he have a purple patch when he scored all them goals up top? Oh, Tim's just coming on.
Yeah, there's Tim.
Hi, Tim. Yeah. There we are, Tim. I'm going to put a question to the panel and everybody in the chat. Isak had a purple patch when he scored all them goals, 20+ goals up top. Is it the same as when Miggy had a purple patch, scored it on the right-hand side? Because don't forget, when we bought him from Real Sociedad, he was a left winger. Have we seen the true colours of him now, playing up top? Is this the Isak, or is it literally just a blip? Because, like I say, don't forget, when we bought him, he was a left winger.
Isak was left winger, was he?
Isak was a left winger from Real Sociedad. We bought 60 odd million for, and he was performing really well. He did play up top a couple of times for them, but not many.
You've obviously researched that before coming out with it, Gary, have you?
Well, no, because that's what I'm saying. I mean, I thought it,
No, I thought we're saying him as a striker.
Well, I'm not saying we haven't signed him as a striker. What I'm saying to you is, has he had a purple patch the same as Miggy did when he come and scored 11?
No, I understand that bit of the question, but
is the fact that now are we seeing the true Isak that really struggles to perform up front?
Well,
does he need to be moved into a position that suits his style of play to get the best out of him? It's all gone quiet over there. And it's all gone quiet over there.
Go on, Tim. What do you say?
I think his quality is of a higher standard of Miggy. So I think.
Oh, I'm not comparing him to Miggy, mate, by any shadow of it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, has he hit the purple patch that one season? Because he's obviously played in a different position than he's used to.
Do you mean like purely for goal scoring?
Yes.
Aye.
Because don't forget, for Sweden, he plays in the number 10 slot.
Aye.
A lot of the time.
I think he could be a regular goal scorer. I think he could definitely get good figures every season. I think I kind of agree in that the way we use him compared to Sweden kind of tells you that he needs to be helped more. So whether that's him playing on the left or whether that's him having a partner, I think I never actually liked it too much with him on the left because he has to track back. Because, like I say, ultimately it's a winger, isn't it? Like it's not necessarily forward. He's playing left wing if he's on the left, so he has to track back. So I think I personally kind of would give him a partner, or the midfield, if we're going to play 3, has to support him better. But I do think if he has the support, I think he has got the quality to score goals on a regular basis and a decent amount of goals, like 15+ a season.
It's funny, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people saying he's a 10 and not a 9. That's what I'm saying.
Not a 9.
You know what I mean? You've been saying that for a while.
Compared to Thierry Henry, me. He's the nearest.
Well, Thierry Henry coming off the left, didn't he? And that's what I'm saying. He has that similar athleticism.
He's a 10.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, for me, he doesn't do enough up top on his own to say that he's an elite striker, as in a number 9 striker.
Yeah.
But I obviously understand. You know, he has scored a lot of good goals. Some of the contributions he's done for even assists as well. I mean, we go back to Everton. look what he did when he was at Everton. You know,
Uh,
cutting
that-
down the line and then just dinking the ball over for Murphy to
And
score.
by the way, that keeps on getting referred to again and again and again. How many times have we seen it?
You haven't.
No, we've seen it once.
Yeah, we haven't.
Aye.
But what I'm saying to you is,
Everybody refers to it all the time.
no, I'm alluding to what I'm trying to allude to, matey. He seems much better playing with the ball at his feet in space where he can
The
run.
point is, he's just much better at running at defences than what he is with his back to the goal.
Aye.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And a number nine has to be equally as effective with his back. Look at the goal that was scored against us yesterday.
Yeah.
His back's to the goal. I still don't. I think that's a fantastic. People are blaming Shea for that goal. I just think it's a fantastic goal. If you watch it again and again and again, how he manages to, because he's literally got his back to the goal, and he turns and boots. He gets a fortunate kind because it comes off his chest, hits the ground, but he just turns and whacks it. Tremendous. Isak could never score a goal like that.
I mean, he has scored a couple like that, but what I'm saying to you is,
I tell you what, he has scored a goal like. If you remember the one he scored against Forest,
yeah,
when he's heading towards the goal and he somehow gets the back of his
leg behind him.
He's overrun it, but he still gets the back of his heel behind it and gets it in.
Yeah.
Fantastic goal.
But I think that goal.
That's him running at goal.
Yeah. I think that goal you just said there about Jimenez scoring, I think having watched it again rather than just reacting to it live, I think he needs to be closer. I think Howe was giving him too much respect for that. I mean, I'm not saying he still wouldn't have got the end result, but I do think Howe could have been touched tighter for that. Even Eddie Howe said that. Gave him too much time and respect to get that shot off. Like I say, that seemed to be everybody. But it was certain individuals yesterday that were just completely switched off from the game. Definitely Shaw, because obviously you saw that when he was, he nicked the ball and didn't even hit the bloody target. His head just wasn't in there. Royston's in the car. I'm going to put you back on speaker, mate. We could hardly hear you because you got a lot of road noise. How are you doing, buddy?
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to recover from that shit, but
yeah, well, we all are, mate. We all are. We've all got the hangover. Don't worry. You're not on your own.
We've got 10 points, and I'm dreading that Man City game now because today, unbelievable. I know Arsenal had 10 men, but we got lucky in a few games because the other teams couldn't finish their dinner, like the Mighty Wind says. And Man City know exactly how to finish their dinner. So Haaland will be on a hat trick, and God help us.
And what are you going to be saying when we beat them?
Fucking hell! I won't be saying anything. I'll be absolutely drunk if we beat them.
Yeah, I'm going to say he'll be like me wearing my pants on my head. I'm telling you now. I'll tell you. Here's a question because there's a couple of lads have put it in the chat, so I might as well open it up to the panel. Does Eddie know anything more than 4-3-3?
I would say no. Honestly, I
think he needs to be more flexible.
He does, doesn't he? When we dropped to the 4-2-3-1,
I agree. I agree. Needs to be.
Does he think we rely too much on the 4-3-3? And now because it's got stale, and the opposition seem to know exactly what we're doing with the ball and what the fluid play we've got. Is it the fact that we're too easy to mark now?
No, I think Brant's hit the nail on the head here, though.
Go on then.
Right now, we are not pressing anywhere near the level we did 2 years ago.
But that could have been the highlight of us getting injuries.
To play, yeah, well, that's that.
This is what I'm saying.
But to play 4-3-3 the way Eddie wants to play, the way he did all his time at Bournemouth, you've got to be super fit and press and press and press and press. And that is obviously going to take a toll injury-wise, you would think logically. Which to be honest, shouldn't be too much of a problem if you've got depth of squad. And we are kind of getting that way now, but we're still not anywhere near where we need to be.
But then it comes down to Eddie not picking the right 4-3-3 players to play the system, then, isn't it?
You know what it is, right? I think it would work a lot better if we had that holding midfielder, which Eddie does not want to use or sign. I think.
But you can't play 4-3-3 with a holding mid.
Well, you could have.
Not a pressing holding.
Exactly, with the pressing, yeah. But I think the problem with the pressing is because we're being worked out, there's that massive chasm between the defence and midfield. Yeah. So if the press isn't right, we're completely exposed. And against, I remember watching the Bournemouth game, and every single time we lost the ball, it was like Bournemouth were in.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd lose the ball on the halfway line, and like all of a sudden we're going to
again, the essence of playing that high press, successful 4-3-3 is you have to be able to pass the ball. You have to be able to retain. Yeah. When you win it high up the pitch, you've got to be able to pass it quickly to one of your own players, which we were good at.
Yeah, but the thing is, Willock is more of a number 10 for me. He's not a traditional midfielder in that sense. He's a number 10, and that's not everybody plays with a number 10. Not many at all these days. So it's unlucky in that way. But I think if there was ever a position for him, it's that at number 10. That's he's tailored to. So when he's further back, I just think he's about being athletic and running with the ball and carrying the ball. But in terms of the technical, don't get us wrong, there's a lot worse players than him technically. But in terms of that sharp passing in tight spaces and having the midfield nous as to where to be, especially defensively, he's not played. He's not been brought up that way, I think. Which is why I was saying last time, Bruno and Tonali are out and out midfielders, and they know that role. Whereas again, Joe Linton's a converted midfielder, so again, it's similar to him. So I think if we were to change the formation, I think you would like to think that Bruno and Tonali could work it out between them as a two, and then Isak number 10, and you've got
playing a free role.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what we were saying. We saw it at a glimpse yesterday with Fulham. We saw it there where you had Gordon playing the free role behind Isak. And like I say, it did upset the apple cart a little bit because for a few plays, if you like, I'm not going to say minutes, that we seem to be on top. But Fox's hit one. You know what? I was talking to you about our formation, our fluid formation, where we have the inverted fullbacks now going into and sitting at the 6 alongside Bruno. We've done it with Lewis Hall. We did it with Tino the other day. Didn't work very well. And Foxy said exactly the same here. Look, Howe has changed the formation. Still a 4-3, but he's making it complicated for the team, introducing new patterns of play in and out of possession. Also, fullbacks inverted into midfield. What we said during when we were stopping the progression of the ball upfield, it actually becomes a 3-2-5 with two real wide players, and your two midfielders then become the inverted left and right of midfield, but in the arrowhead, but behind Isak. But again, we don't seem to be getting the ball up to them quick enough to create the triangles, the give and goes to get us into the box. Struggled with it with Wolves, where we just couldn't break down the low block, and hence we ended up shooting from afar and getting the goals. But they're very, very hard percentage-wise to do that on a regular basis. And I think that's where Eddie has to change something. Continue, obviously, getting the lads used to a new fluidity, getting rid of the system, because until the system is, I keep on saying muscle memory, and the lads go into position, because at this present moment in time, it does look as though the lads are confused on the park of what Eddie wants them to do, especially when he keeps on changing the fullbacks, especially when he keeps on changing the two midfield lads, because at the minute, J7's played left midfield, right midfield, centre midfield. He doesn't really know what his role's meant to be when he keeps on swapping him. And I think that's the same with Anthony Gordon. I think Anthony Gordon's head may have dropped just because he doesn't want to play right wing. But at the minute, what Eddie wants was two very similar players in every position. So when it comes to changing up the game, he's got somebody with fresh legs that can go and sit in the same position and do the job that he's asked for. That's why you bought Barnes. Just obviously Gordon went into left wing. Barnes now covers Gordon on the left-hand side. But obviously Barnes is saying that he wants more regular football. So what do you do with these lads to get them, to make everybody happy? Now, obviously, we've seen Murphy have a few bad games, and I'm sure Beer Viking is going to give me some stats in a minute about Murphy's football. And he hasn't been brilliant on the right-hand side. Brilliant in pre-season, but not really effective since the start of the season. So obviously, Eddie's had to make a decision to bring one of his left wingers over to the right to try and make something work. But it's not happened. We do not generate enough play on the right-hand side to continue to assist Isak. We do it on the left-hand side a lot more than we do on the right. But usually on the right, when Trippier's on board, we usually get Trippier running down the wing to get the delivery into the box for the left winger and the midfielders marauding into the box to try and get on the end of. But at this present moment in time, we aren't crossing the ball anymore. I don't know what's happened. But we just don't seem to be
Callum Wilson there.
Well, we haven't. No, we haven't got a target man. I agree with you, but it does seem strange the fact that we just seem to.
And that 4-3-3 high press system that was so successful. He has a curveball coming in right now. Was when Trips was doing the marauding up the right, and who did he have in front of him? Miggy. And Miggy was the most willing runner in the world. And that system suddenly blossomed into life when we had those little triangles on the right-hand side with Bruno, Miggy, Trips, and Longstaff. Because in the middle, we also had on and off, because of various injuries, Wilson and Isak. So that teams couldn't work out when we're working those triangles, where we're going to cross it for a Callum to be there and nod it in, or where we're going to cross it on the deck for Isak to pick up and attack the box on the ground from the edge of the box. We simply have not got the intensity now that we had then.
No, that's what I said. It's gone. The identity is changed.
Gone. So if you haven't got that intensity, you can't play that system. And if Eddie can't cope with that, then
Did you not feel it strange though, guys? And again, is it just me? When Shaw won the ball back when we were doing the press.
Yeah, and that was a funny thing.
Why was Share there?
Why was Share there? I haven't seen that one back far enough because, as I said, I've only watched the match of the day highlights. But I can only assume it's because they'd got the ball back. The keeper had got the ball back from a set piece, a corner or a free kick or something.
Do you think the lads in midfield had said to him,
Burn and Share were up there anyway?
Yeah.
So
that's the only thing I've got.
Burns been the first to drop back and Share's stopped there to put a bit of pressure on.
It's obviously by doing that, you have to go man for man across the park to do what he's done there, which means you've got a massive hole somewhere at the back if nobody's filling the void for you.
Somebody might have been filling in, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder whether he's had the call to say, stay there, I'm dropping in for you.
I think he's chance.
I bloody hope so, anyway.
I'm here.
He's used Tino in that role quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Roy to get his screen so we can see him. He's at the car now. Just having a fag before he goes inside.
Last stop before I go in.
I don't blame you. So come on then, matey. Give us, before we move on to the individual scores and stuff like that, while we've got you out the car and you're safe to talk, give us your talk on yesterday, buddy. Oh, we've lost him.
Oh, no, he's frozen.
You see, it's typical, isn't it? Just when I get him there.
How would you summarise yesterday, Tim?
Well, I'll just say one point about the right wing. when we signed Gordon, I thought he was going to be for right wing to replace Miggy.
He absolutely
That's
was.
what it said. Yeah.
And when I'd seen him for Everton, I was chuffed for signing him because I'd seen him for Everton. And I'd seen him play on the right as much as anywhere else. And I thought,
correct.
The good thing about him was he's got that raw pace and tenacity to not just go inside, but go on the outside. And I thought it would be a nice balance where you've got one inverted winger on the left, whether it was St. Maximum at the time or Barnes after we signed him, and then Gordon on the right. I thought that's a nice balance. So even though he was brilliant last season, obviously Gordon, so you can't take that away from him. But I've always thought or wanted to see him on the right, to see him go down the outside. Again, it's a bit of a symptom of the modern game where not many managers, I think, want that as much these days. But I always thought he was a potential solution for that. But he probably didn't want to play there because England are stocked with right wingers like Saka. And
there you go.
Aye. So is he not wanting to do it for that reason, where he knows England left spot is open and he's like, no, I want to play left for Newcastle because that's my chance for England.
That's my chance for England. There you go. And that's what I said. Is it the fact that he's throwing his toys out the pram now because he's playing in a stronger position to get an England cap? If he plays right wing, he's not going to be looked for really because the amount of players that are in front of him for the England right side. But you're right. Left side for England is still vacant to a degree. Haven't got much competition there. So yeah, I've thought that. I've said it before. For me, he'll never want to play right wing. Now he's been called up for the England team. He will always try and get that. And to be fair, though, he's still not ripping many trees up, is he? Playing left side for us at the minute. So there's certainly something wrong. Roy, you sat down. We've got a lovely face.
Yes, mate.
Yes,
Cheers, mate.
go on, fire away, mate. Because obviously, just as we asked you, you broke up.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knows his best 11 yet because he keeps chopping and changing. Sometimes it's Tino, sometimes it's Trippier, and then when Trippier comes on, he's better than Tino, and then the other way around. And then we did say that Kelly's probably better than Hall in away games, which wasn't the case yesterday. But I don't know. And again, we thought we'd see Tonali finally, and he wasn't on again. So what is the lad need to do?
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I mean the thing is, it wasn't this; it was the system again, and it was the bad football. And funny enough, we had 60% ball possession when I looked.
63% to something stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's. But if you look at it, 90% of that was probably in an hour half, back passing and all
played
that
it
stuff.
back. Yeah, essentially.
And at some point, I remember that we had a ball that was with Gordon, and then he passed it back, and it went all the way back to Pope again. And I thought, what are we doing here? And then Pope kicked it one of his stray balls again. So I hate passing the ball back to Pope. He can't kick the ball, and every time they kick the ball back to him, they put him under pressure. And Dan Burn is one of the guilty ones doing that a lot. So it was just a bad day at the office again. But this time, thing is, we were not lucky this time. We got away with it in 4 games.
That's true. Anybody that hasn't seen it, I'm just going to put it on the screen so you can see where we are regarding the stats. What Roy was just talking about. So carry on, mate.
Think that. Yeah, and
it was even more than that at one stage.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and funny enough, it's negative. And then Bruno, I know he apologized at the end and stuff. But that's like you teach 12-year-old kids, you don't kick the ball back into your box. And and he keeps. It's not just this.
We've got a Bruno apologist here, Beard. Bruno's, and I agree with you, by the way, Beard. Bruno's pass, he was risking it because there was about 2 minutes to go. He knew he had to keep the ball in. He would have done differently earlier in the game if we weren't chasing it. And I think it's by no means a justification for it. But it's
Tonali's guilty of that as well because he passed it back to Bruno really hard. And
it was crazy ball, wasn't it? That to control. I mean, Bruno did well.
Yeah, so it's just We'll just have to think it was a bad day at the office because it wasn't just one player. Everybody was bad.
Every
Almost
single
everyone.
one, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Except
But
probably Barnes. Maybe probably the only one.
yeah, we were saying
and
in
Murphy when he
the,
came on. Yeah.
we were saying when we obviously before you jumped on, mate. I don't know whether you were watching it just before or listening to us.
Yeah.
Is it the fact that Eddie's putting too much of a complex system in place now that the lads just don't understand what he's asking them to do? Because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like there's a lot of confused faces out there, a lot of lads running into the same space all of the time. Doesn't seem to work what we're trying to do.
Yeah, there's something strange happening because it's the same formation but a different system. It's weird.
Yeah.
And some are saying, he's trying to suck teams into us and then hit them on the counter and stuff. And even that's not working. When was the last one? I think we had one against Spurs and we had one when we could have scored a third against Wolves. And besides that, I don't think we had a break the whole time. And it's not working. We're getting sussed out by all the teams now. So you
Bruno,
walk in, everybody walks in, and we know what he's going to do exactly now. And I'm sure the other managers are watching us every game, and they know exactly what we're going to do. That's why it's not working.
So Bruno's had a bit of criticism, buddy. I'm going to ask the panel this now. Obviously, Bruno put a statement out virtually within a couple of hours of the game finishing. On X, he's gone round and said, "I'm man enough to own my mistakes. Tough day for all of us, but I'll never hide. We need to improve as a team and individually, and I'm 100% included in that. Keep working for better days ahead. To Love Arts, number 39, as he always does." Now, he's had a lot of criticism because it sounds scripted to a lot of people out there. Now, to me, I haven't got a problem if somebody's helped him with his bloody English. And even if it's a PR stunt, at least the lad's big enough to put his face to it, because obviously his face is right behind it, and then words are over his name. So whether it's been scripted or whether it's been adjusted to suit his tongue, if you like. I have no issues with that.
The bit I like
he's held his hands up as captain of the team.
Better days ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I say, they will not have a better day than the weekend to shove that middle finger up at everybody who's questioning and this, that, and the other, and turn the mighty Man City over.
Yeah, let's
what an opportunity! And by the way, go level with them at the top of the table, except we won't be top because a couple of the teams will probably get a point or two.
Yeah.
But we'll still be there or thereabouts.
I think because I've looked at the time and I don't want obviously people are going to be wanting to get up for work and everything else, and I know it's quite late for Roy, so we better get on with this, hadn't we? Individual players, as you can see, we've got the crowd are all cheering, ready to kickstart the day. So let's go for Nick Pope.
Right. Well, with there being 5 of us, Gary, what we'll do, we'll do Pope first, and then we'll do all of the back 4, and then the mid 3 and the top 3 in one fell swoop.
That sounds like a plan to me. As you can see there, you've got we're going to score on stars, but you can give this as high as you want. So it just looked a little bit easier to star them rather than to give them numbers, because for some unknown reason, when I was putting numbers down, as anybody that's been with me before, it was putting some crazy numbers next to it because my hoverboard doesn't work very well, touchpad. So Win, I'm going to come to you first, buddy. In actual fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put me at the top because it just makes it easier to come to everybody one by one. So, Win, go for it. Fill your boots. What do you think of Pope?
You know the way I do my marks, out of 10, and every player starts with 5 basically. And if they do bad things, they go below 5. If they do good things, they go above 5. And I'm putting Pope on a 6.
You're
Because
giving him a 6.
he lost 3 points for throwing the second ball into the net, second goal into the net. But he made 4 positive contributions apart from that. So 6
So you're
for
going to
me.
go with 6. Okay. Roy.
I'll give him a 4. No, that goal should have been saved. He's done few saves on the stats. 1 or 2 good ones, and then few fluff ones that you just should have just grabbed by just for some reason just slapping the ball away. So,
Okay.
and the kick in again, but it's not his fault. They keep passing it back to him.
Kicking is garbage.
Yeah, but it's not his fault because the players in front of him know that, and they're still passing the ball. Stop passing the ball back to him. Deal with it yourself. So yeah, I'll give him a 4. That was his worst game as well, I think, because he was man of the match for me in 2 or 3 of the games
Beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just Steve, go on yours, because I'm just going to give everybody some stats on Nick Pope after you've given your scores, because I don't want to influence you. I just want you to give your scores from what you saw.
I'm giving him a 5. As everyone else has said, he made some good saves, but he made a couple of mistakes which cost us. And as I've said for weeks, he can't kick a ball for crap. He's just useless. And he needs to work on that big time. That could cost us even more. And I think he's hesitant with his having his injury last season. I think he's hesitant to dive on that shoulder.
Okay, so you've gone with a 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a 4, 5, and a 6 so far. Tim,
I've got them down.
I'd say a 5 as well. It's a bit of a shocker that one that you let in, but I think you made some good saves. But it is a concern sometimes when it goes back to him, like everyone said. And look, don't get us wrong. There's a lot worse keepers than Pope. Do you know what I mean? The league, so we could do worse. But if I was being ruthless, I would have been very tempted to get that goalkeeper. I can't pronounce his name, but the one who's got Liverpool now,
Mamardashvili.
Aye.
Yeah.
Marmalade.
Aye. It might have seemed harsh, like on Pope, but if you're being ruthless, I would have been very tempted to pay the 30+ million and just say he's the number one. Like Pope's been brilliant, but the shoulder is a concern, and I would have been tempted to do that.
okay. So I'm going to give you his figures, and I'm going to give you the opportunity, even in the chat, if you want to adjust your scores. So he played 90 minutes. He saved 8 times. His goal prevention was 0.17, not great. He did no punches. He had no successful runouts. He didn't claim a single ball in the air. He made 6 saves from inside the box. 1 error that led to the ball. He touched the ball 36 times. His accurate passing was 16 out of 20, so 80%. So not bad. There was no key passes mined. There was obviously there was 4 long balls attempted, not 1.
0. I was going to say they're the other ones. the 16 out of 20 is just rolling at the trips, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've put down a 5. Awful mistake for the second goal, and again kept much busier than he would have liked to have been. Had to be better for Smith Rowe's goal, but it might have been 4 to 5 without his several saves. I think 5.
That makes even my maths makes that he gets a 5, because if you add them all up, it comes to 25 divided by 5.
There you go.
And even I can do that times table.
So we're going to give him a 5.
Yeah.
So here we go. 3, 4, 5. So he's an average player. And so I think trips, that's probably about right. So we're going to go on to trips.
Share, Burn, and Kelly.
Yeah, so we're going to go trips first.
Trips, I've got a 5-4. I thought he was the best of the back 4. Share a 4. Burn a 4. and Kelly a 4.
Okay. Well, let's do one at a
Let's-
time. Let's
let's-
try and keep it simple, because
the-
we're going to get confused. I think
Well, it's all right. I'm writing them all down.
you're writing them all down. Go on then.
Yeah.
So
Trips didn't do a lot wrong at all, but he did. There was no runs. There was no good set pieces. There was, so bog average. And the other 3, you cannot concede 3 goals and have a score above 5. And they weren't as good as Trips, so I put them on 4. None of them were kind of terrible. They did nothing that was dramatically wrong, but 4. They weren't kind of 3s or 2s or out later.
okay. Roy.
I'll give them all 3, all 4 of them. I would have given. We're letting 3 goals. The first one was Dan Burns' fault. Jimenez turned right in front of him. Nobody did anything.
Well, that was Shaw, wasn't it?
And yeah, well, both of them anyway. But Shaw, fucking, I should give him minus for that miss. All I had to do was just pass it to Isak, and that would have been it, and we would have had another lucky point. But yeah, Kelly anonymous, really, and nothing going forward. So we're in 3 goals. I'm not going to give him any more points. It's 3 each, all of them.
Okay. So you're going 3 each for all of them.
3, all of them, yeah. All
Yeah.
4.
Go on, Steve.
I'll give Trips a 5 because he tried. As he said, that goal that was scored against us by Smith Rowe, he tried to get Shah into the right position. He tried to do the job that he's always pretty done. Defense, trying to get to boss him about a bit to get in the right place. So I think he's a 5. Shah, yeah, a 4. Yeah, he made some silly mistakes. Should have, as you said, scored the goal. And Kelly, 5.
Okay.
And Burn,
I'd say about the same, 5.
okay.
Tim.
I agree with Steve again. I think Trips 5. He didn't get loads of help, and you could see what he's trying to do. And I think he probably is the player to go with for now at right back. But yeah, obviously the whole defense wasn't great, and but Share was, could easily be a 3. I'll say a 4, but like I do agree he needed to get closer to Jimenez there. It was nothing against the finish. It was a brilliant finish, but you've got to get touch tight there. And then obviously the miss. So yeah, Burn 5, and Kelly 5. And Kelly, he's not really offering enough in defensively. He's supposed to be there because Hall isn't great defensively yet. I find that Kelly doesn't get close to his man very often. I noticed that against Bournemouth. One of the goals came down his side. He didn't stop the cross.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. He's probably a decent player and he's probably better at centre back. But it doesn't seem to be as effective at left back in terms of that defensive role. And going forward, he's got a nice touch, but in terms of, penetrating.
He hasn't got the skill set though, has he?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So did you end up on a 3 or a 4 for Share?
I'll say 4.
4.
So I'm just going to give you lads some scripture on the back 4. So Kieran Trippier, 74 minutes, no goals, no assists, obviously. Expected assists is 0.02. Clearances, he made 1 clearance. He blocked no shots. He intercepted once. Total tackles 1. He dribbled past twice. Ground duels 4. He won 1. Aerial duels 2 out of 2. Possession lost 7. Fouls 1. Touches 60. Average passes 45 out of 50, so 90%, and 1 key pass. He didn't make any crosses. He tried 2, failed on both of them, but he did do 4 long balls and 3 was successful. So for that, I'm going to give Trippier a 5. Restored to the starting lineup and was typically tidy in possession before being replaced by Livramento. But like I say, it didn't contribute enough, but he did try and G the lads up a little bit at times. Just didn't work. Going on to Fabian Schär. He played 90 minutes, obviously. Obviously no goals, even though we should have. Expected XG was 0.4. Assists none. Expected assists 0.2. Clearances 4. Block shots none. Interceptions 2. Total tackles 0. Now for the defender, I find that really hard. And he got dribbled past once. Ground duels, he had 4 attempts and won 2. Aerial duels, he had 3 attempts and won 1. Possession lost 8. Fouls 1 and was fouled twice. Touches 101. Accurate passes 82 out of 88, so 93% accuracy. Long balls attempted 9, 4 successful. And obviously we know we had a shot on target. Well, both of them. We had 2 shots at goal, and both were off target. So for Fabian Schär, I've given him a 4. Missed a golden opportunity to equalise. Needed to square to Isak, who had an open goal. Struggled to deal with Jimenez and needed more support from midfield, especially in the first half. Going on to Dan Burn. I've got him down as playing, obviously, the 90 minutes. Expected goals 0.01. Clearances 4. Block shots 0. Interceptions 0. Total tackles 1. Ground duels 1. 2 out of 3. Aerial duels 1. 6 out of 9. Possession lost 6 times. Fouled at 1 and was fouled twice. Touches 110. Accurate passes 90 out of 93 passes, so a 97% pass accuracy. Long balls, he did 2 out of 2. Shots on target 1, but obviously didn't do anything else. So for me, Fabian Schär Dan Burn got a 5. Won everything in the air, but his lack of mobility is starting to become a worry when teams break with pace. Going on to Kelly. I've put, bear with me a second. My screen's going all over the shop. I've put.
Can we move it on a bit, Gary?
Yeah, I've got it now. I've got it. He played 45 minutes. Clearances 2, 1 block shots. Ground duels 1 out of 2. Aerial duels 2 out of 2. Possession lost 5 times. Fouls 1. Was fouled 1. Offside 1. Touches 36. Accurate passes 25 out of 29. 86. Tried 5 long balls. 2 got to their target. And for that, I've given him bear with me a second, a 3. Not his finest half of football. Couldn't handle the pace and power of Traore, who he never really got close to. Will be lucky to keep his spot ahead of Hall, who was brought on at the break. So there you go. So what did we? What
ended up with 23, 19, 22, and 20, which gives them an average of 5, 5, 4, 4, 4. Which, funnily enough, is what I scored them at. Except I gave Pope a 6.
So Trippier, you said 5.
Trips 5 average, Schär 4 average, Burn 4 average, Kelly 4 average. The total score for the 5 of us was 23, 19, 22, and 20. I'm not doing points.
No.
Right. Willock, Bruno, J7. Keep it going.
Okay,
it's getting a bit boring.
It's up to you then.
Yeah. I've gone 4 for Willock. Thought he was virtually non-existent. Bruno 3, terrible, and that final self-destruct. And J7-3 was just poor throughout. No redeeming features virtually. Enough said for the
Okay.
midfield 3 yesterday. I think they've all admitted it. Eddie's admitted it. Commitment poor, attitude poor, result poor.
Yeah.
That's me done. Right.
Willock, I'll give him a 4. Anonymous, really. Didn't do anything. Bruno, 2. Probably his worst performance since he signed for us.
Yep, agree.
So he needs to wake up. So it could be a good time for him to wake up now before the City game. Joe Linton, another shit game. 3. He was responsible. He lost the ball for the first goal, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it deflected
We
off him,
scored.
didn't it? It was really weird.
Yeah. So again, nothing. You know what it is? Sometimes I think we should shove him as a number 6. Just
Yeah.
keep him there, and then say, "Look, mate, don't get involved in the game, and just chop whoever gets close to you." And that's it. And he did a silly thing with the goalkeeper again when he grabbed him, and thank God he didn't get a yellow card there,
Didn't get a yellow.
because we need him for City. He can do his shit against City and get suspended for the next game. But yeah, 3. I'm not happy with both Brazilians.
No, neither am I.
Yeah.
Tim?
What about Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Steve. I beg your.
He's got his head down.
I give him.
Willock?
I'm not going to be as cruel as you win and Roy. I'm going to give a 4 across the board each.
4 across the board, right? Any reasoning?
Yes, I know Bruno can say he's done whatever, but at the end of the day, yes, we lost 3-1. We could have lost a lot more. I mean, they weren't totally non-existent, but they did make mistakes. But very rare I would rate a player less than 4.
Okay, Tim.
I'd give Bruno an 8. No, I'm joking.
I was going to say.
Did you see the silence then?
Give us some of that.
That's well. At least it's live and proceedings up, Tim.
Absolutely.
You're like, yeah, son.
I'd give so Willock 4, Joe Linton 4. If you're being harsh, maybe Bruno 3, because he has got amazing ability. Do you know what I mean? And he needs to be doing better than that.
Yeah, no, judging him on yesterday's game.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's a quality player, but
absolutely.
It's just, and that's kind of why you're thinking, well, how can you have that ability and not put it together and play as badly as that? So, go on then. I'll give him a 3. Yeah. So. Joe Linton 4 and Willock 4.
Gary?
Willock 4, Joe Linton and Bruno 3 each.
So,
just looking at minutes played for Willock, 45. No goals, no assists, obviously. Expected assists is 0.01. Touches, 16. Accurate passes, 12 out of 13. 1 key pass. 1 long ball executed. No ground duels won. Lost the ball twice. Fouls committed 1. And was offside once, obviously, when we went through to score, which was a shame.
Right.
Well, when it comes to
I tell you what, the key stat here, without going through all of the stats for all of them, Gary, how many times did they each lose the ball?
Well, they like I said, they all Bruno. Bruno was the one who lost more possession. He was 15.
They say these numbers coming now. 15. This is midfield.
This
15.
this is your midfield maestro. It's
Yeah,
not
He
just
holds on for too
midfield.
long.
Yeah.
He tries to do too much.
Willock.
Willock wasn't so bad. I've just said Willock, haven't I?
Well, he only did
I've just-
half an. Well, that was
half
just
a
in a
game.
half a game, though.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it was something like 5 or 6. Wasn't in double figures in half a game though. That's what I'm trying to say.
So Bruno was the 15 in 90 minutes. He was 5 or 6 in half of that. So he's 12
It
or
was
13.
2. He lost 2 balls, Willock. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
So it wasn't masses at all. But Joe Linton, he lost the ball. Bear with me. Long balls. Lost possession 8 times.
8, right. So that's 15, 8. And if you double, well, we need to come on to top, but anyway, if you doubled it 4, so we've lost possession in midfield 25 times.
It's 25 times, yeah.
Over 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's you just can't. You cannot. You'll not win games if you're giving the ball away in midfield that many times. So the
What did we
totals
rate them?
involved there were 20 for Willock, 15 for Bruno, 17 for J7, giving them an average of 4.33.
So Willock a 4, yeah?
Yeah, Willock a 4, Bruno a 3, J7 3.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
So we'll then go to the big 3 up front.
Barnes, Isak, and Gordon.
And I've gone 6 for Barnes, 2 for Isak, and 5 for Gordon. Barnes was easily the pick of the litter. Not only scoring the goal, but anything that he did really badly was outweighed by a couple of things that he did well. And he got the goal, so I'm giving him an extra point for that. But basically, he's starting with what he started with and getting an extra point for scoring the goal. Isak was just dreadful from start to finish, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't care what the stats say. Eyesight told me he wasn't interested, didn't want to challenge, didn't want to tackle, didn't want to run for the ball. His dribbles weren't coming off. So just, bad day at the office. Gordon, I don't think was quite as bad as everybody was saying, but he did some good stuff, but he loses that credit for the couple of times in particular that I noticed where he just gave up on balls that any other day of the week. Certainly last season, he gave up on 2 balls that last season he would have been busting a good. He would have been doing a David Kelly to get to. And his heart's not in it. And, Tim might have raised a very, very valid point when he's saying, he wants to play for England and he can't see him doing that on the right wing. So he wants to play on the left wing and he's spitting his dummy out if he can't. If that's the case, we need to get it sorted. Right. Because we cannot afford to have a player of his quality producing the way he was producing last season. It might be you just have to hold your hand up and say, okay, that's what you want, Anthony, you can have it. You're that good and you're that valuable to us, we're going to accommodate you. Dangerous precedent to set, but, sometimes you have to do these things. And if that means then telling Barnes, right, you're going to have to play on the right, or wait until Gordon has a bad patch or gets injured, then so be it. But it needs sorting. That's the point. It needs sorting. We can't go on the way we're going on right now. That's it. Had me say.
Barnes, I'll give Barnes a 6. Man of the match for me. Our man of the match.
Yeah.
Scored a goal, looked positive. Probably one of the only players who had the right attitude yesterday.
He was the one that sent out to face the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because at least he knew he could hold his head kind of high.
Yeah. And then Isak, anonymous. Part his fault, part not. I don't think he was ready. The way we're playing, he's not getting enough service. Is obvious now after 5 games, and I don't know what's wrong with him. But funny enough, he goes for Sweden, is whacking goals. So I think
Well, how do you
it's the
think?
system.
Where do you stand, Roy, on what Gary was asking before? I'm not sure. It might have been before you came in.
What where we play him?
In terms of has Isak not in fact simply had a purple patch last season, the same way Miggy did?
No, because he's got quality, but he had a lot of service last year, and he used to score goals, miss goals, even missed a penalty, getting chances in. He was creating his own stuff. But now it's just, well, it's not just him. We barely see the ball in the final third.
That's
All our
true.
passing is at the back, and there's a long ball to him. He's not going to do the Wilson thing with his back to the goal.
No, well, when
So
you
he
put those
doesn't.
stats up before, Gary, I was amazed because it
Yeah.
showed us as having 22 touches in their box.
Yeah.
And I
What
can't
he
remember
did?
them 22 touches. I can remember
No,
some of them,
we
obviously.
had.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole team, not just Isak. Okay.
Yeah.
No, wait, the whole team.
Yeah, but sometimes, few times you think you should pass it early, and then they decide to keep going and do that one more step instead of releasing that ball, and it's happened loads of times now. Gordon's one
Right,
of
so
the good
Isak, how
ones.
many? Because we're getting on.
Yeah, I'll give Isak 3, and
And
I'll give
Gordon?
Gordon a 3. I was going to give him worse than that, but he actually got in a good position, and a keeper saved it when he had the shot. But he's starting to dive now. Slight touch, he's down, and few times he actually dived, and the referee played it on because it's disgraceful, man. And my mate was there yesterday, and he said he just wouldn't track back.
He wouldn't do anything.
It's not the
No.
same Gordon
No, the
from last
attitude.
season.
There's a big attitude problem there.
So I mean, if he thinks he's going to go to Liverpool, Liverpool's got Diaz on one side and got Salah.
He's not going to get in a team past
Yeah.
Diaz at the minute.
I know, no chance. So I'll give him a 3. He needs to snap out of it if he wants to keep playing for England and stuff. So 3. Hopefully, this
Stevie?
whole thing is a kick up the ass for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give Barnes a 7.
Isak?
I actually going to be critical of him now. I'm going to say 3.
Okay.
And Gordon?
And Gordon, it's a hard one. 5.
Okay. Kind of rationale about that?
Yeah, I think Gordon, he tries to put as much as he can into a game. Yeah, he might make a few mistakes, but I think his heart was in it. Barnes was just,
You think his heart was in it?
No, I don't. Not all the time. Maybe he was a bit thing, but I think it was better than. I think he. Oh, I don't know. I just think it's a 5. I think he was worth a 5. But I think Barnes.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing your score. I'm just.
Yeah, I think Barnes was one of the best players yesterday.
Yeah, man of the match by a mile.
He should start a lot more.
Yeah. And Tim?
Barnes, I would say 6, maybe 7, like you say, Steve. But maybe I would kind of say that he should have got closer to. I think was it the first goal where he was supporting Kelly to stop the cross. I think maybe he could have done better there. But like I'm a massive fan of Barnes, and he should have started the season against Southampton. He played all the pre-season. He'd scored in the last pre-season game. He got his fitness up, and for me, he should have started. And I think he's an absolutely quality player. So yeah, I'd give him a 6. Isak 4. He does need support, like we've said. He's too isolated, so that's not helping him. At the same time, he could do more in terms of hustle and bustle. Just occupy defenders more, put your body in the way more. And I'd give Gordon, like, if I'm being harsh, I'll give him a 3. 1 for his lack of quality going forward. I mean, to be fair, he had a hand in the goal, so it's fair play. But mainly because of his body language. And, you know, yeah, you could say, well, everyone's jumping on that and is it a cliche, but there was a couple of moments, one in particular, where he didn't get his free kick and he just lay on the ground. Like, the play literally carried on for a good 5 seconds, even 10 seconds, something, I don't know what it was, but he was exacerbated, just lying on the ground, like laughing, where's me free kick? It's like, okay, I get it. I get you're frustrated. You know, you thought it was a foul, okay, but that sort of typified the way he seems to be at times, you know. And again, it's not that he was absolutely shocking every single time he got the ball, but I think, like you have said, lads, I think there's likely an issue there with him mentally.
Yeah.
So yeah, that needs to be nailed down.
Yeah, there was a lot of
That's
Everton fans
interesting,
in the
Niall. You're
past saying
saying
the
I'd
same.
think about it and splash out on Sesko too late. That boat sailed, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So
Liverpool have got him.
for me,
Right, sorry.
Barnes, he's a 6. Took his goal well. Best of a poor bunch today. Deserved to keep his place and looks at constant goal threats. Gave the ball away 5 times. Anthony Gordon, a 3. Poor performance and cut a frustrated figure. Gave away the ball 16 times and looks disinterested at times. Had an opportunity to equalise, but was well saved by Leno. Body language and form is a real concern. Isak, a 4, totally anonymous. Didn't look fit at all. Not sure he playing a full game was the right decision from Eddie Howe. Gave the ball away 7 times.
Was that a 4 for you, Isak, was it?
Yeah, 4 for Isak. So what does that make?
So that makes Barnes man of the match comfortably. He's got a total of 31, which gives him an average of just over 6. Isak, 5, 8, 12, 16. Worst player on the pitch. Oh, sorry, no. Bruno. We've got Bruno. This is my so-called crown jewels. Yesterday, they are the 4 worst players on the pitch. Bruno 15, J7 17, Isak 16, and Gordon 19.
They're supposed to be our best players.
And they are what I class as our crown jewels.
Yep.
Which is why I consider the transfer window to be a success, because we're hung on to all of them.
So Barnes gets man of the match and got man of the match in most of the press, to be fair. So let's go on to the subs quickly.
The subs, we'll do them all. So Hall, I'm giving a 5 to. Murphy a 6, Tino a 6, Sandro a 6, and Asula a 5. Basically, Hall, he had the full second half, and he did look good on a couple of occasions going forward. But it was noticeable, I think it was in about the 54th minute, because I just had a look back on the watch along, and it was in the 54th minute. I said, oh, when did Hall come on? Because he had, I'd never even seen him for the 9 minutes, the first 9 minutes of the second half. So he got a 5. Murphy got a 6, obviously, assist, and, you know, he starts with 5. He didn't do a lot, but he didn't fuck up a lot. So he gets a 1 for the assist. Tino, the same. I thought he was, he was only on for 15 minutes, but he did nothing wrong, and he had that one little run. Sandro came on 74 as well. He's got a 6 because he. Just with your stats there, was Sandro, Gary, how many times did he lose the ball?
Yeah, bear with me a second. There was a couple, but not anywhere near as.
The All I'm saying,
couple. It was the two. It was the two.
two.
So like I said, it was
albeit
a couple
that
I
was
could
only
remember.
in 16 minutes. But when you think that you said that, who was it? Willock lost the ball twice in a full
in 45.
In 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And Asula a 5 because it was 83 minutes. He had 7 minutes. He did nothing wrong. He did nothing spectacular.
Roy?
So that's me.
Tino, Hall, and Usula 5 each. Basically, no mistakes really. So nothing notable.
Yeah,
not enough. Yeah, especially Usula, not enough time on. But I want to see more of him because, again, my mate who was there said he was just running back and forth, trying to make up for all the games he missed or something. I don't know. So he looked like he was trying. Murphy, one of my favorite players and great servant to this club, never complains, keeps his head up, comes on, assist, 6, second man of the match for me after Barnes.
Yeah.
Tonali, I'll give him a 4 because I can't blame him anyway, but I don't know. He should start from now on anyway. And that rocket he passed back to Bruno, which caused that goal anyway. So I'll give him a 4. But the rest of the guys are 5s and just Murphy's a 6.
Yep, got them. Stevie?
Yeah, I'd say the players coming on, tried to contribute, did what they could, but like you said, it's too late by then. I'll give who we got? Livermento.
Well, Hall and Murphy had a full half each.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give them 5 each.
And then Tino and Sandro came on 74.
I give Tonali a 5.
Come on, move along. People waiting to get to bed.
I'm 5 for Hall.
5. And Asula? He's
Asula,
only on for 7 minutes.
yeah, he weren't on for long. I mean, you can't really score him much. So I'll just give him a 5 because.
Right, that's fine. Tim?
Asula and Murphy 6 and the rest 5.
6. 5.
I think
5.
Asula tried to put himself above, didn't he? Like you say.
Yeah.
Did, yeah.
And
Just a mix.
Aye, and Hall, he's quality on the ball. And I was pushing for Hall to start games, last season. And maybe he does need a long run in the side. But there were a few moments, again, where he is exposed defensively.
I was going to say, do you not think if you gave him the because a lot of people say that, right? Do you not think that if you give him a long run in the side and accepted that he's going to have defensive deficiencies?
Yeah.
Do you not think that could be very costly in the long run?
It could be
in the long run. It could be very, very beneficial.
Yeah. What I would say though is Kelly isn't offering the defensive assurances, as an option. So if Kelly's not stopping crosses and getting close, then maybe it's a risk worth taking because Hall has got immense ability on the ball.
We'll go back to Dan Burn as the best.
I think that's
No. No.
I mean, he served us well,
He did serve us very well. Best defense in the league.
Aye, totally. But I wouldn't go back to that.
No, neither would I. I was only pulling some strings.
I think Murphy did really well. Like, to be fair, maybe it should be a 7. I don't know, but I do think Murphy did well. He came on in difficult circumstances, and whenever I've seen him get the ball, he was trying to make things happen and really well. Gary might say different with the stats, but I didn't see him lose it too much, and I think he seems to be better as a sub. you know. And yeah, I think Murphy is a good option off the bench. He does give you that impetus, I think, when he comes off the bench.
Well, we're doing well, folks. We've still got 141 tuned in, so let's get on to Gary.
Hall 4.
Out.
Yeah, Hall 4, Murphy 5, Tino 5, Tonali 5, and Asula 5.
Right.
And the reasons why I'm doing that, Hall gave the ball away too many. He gave the ball away 9 times in 45 minutes. He also gave that poor giveaway just outside the box, if you remember, square, when he just literally tapped it to Traore to run at us. So
I remember that one. Yeah.
what I've written down was showed some attacking intent, and aside from one real poor giveaway, looked much better than Kelly. Looked more assured in some defensive, but obviously we have to be careful when dealing with the ball. Passing it squarely to the opposition doesn't help the team. Murphy 5, immediate impact with the assist for Barnes at the start of the second half. Visited also another great cross that nobody got on the end of, didn't read the play, but also again lost the ball far too often. 7 times he lost the ball. Tino offered lots of energy down the right, did his defensive duties well. Only gave the ball away twice, but didn't get. I think he. Sorry, I've written it down and I'm trying to read my writing. I think it was 2 out of 4 ground duels won. So
because you're a doctor. Nobody
yeah,
can read. Nobody can read a doctor's writing.
Tonali looked typically composed on the ball, but needed to come on earlier. Has to be pushing for the start now. Gave a ball away twice though in the time that he was in, but I think that was because he was trying to push us going forward. Asula did really well, to be fair, in the 7 minutes that he come on. 1 out of 3 ground duels won, tackles, none in the air, unfortunately, but did run and progress the ball up the pitch for about 25 yards, unchallenged. And 1 out of 2 passes went well. So, yeah, I'll give him a 5. Because, like I say, there must have been a hell of a lot of pressure on the lad.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because there's the subs, and with the exception of Barnes and Pope, and Pope's just equal to one of the worst. Every one of those subs scored higher than the people on the pitch.
Yeah,
with Murphy coming in as second man. So Barnes man of the match and Murphy
number 2
runner up.
So what did Murphy score? Just so I've got it.
Murphy scored 28, which if he averages out, it's still 6. Only 5, but it's 5 point.
Yeah, it's 5.5, isn't it?
Yeah,
second best after Barnes.
Yeah, I'm going to put him. I'll put him up to a 6 because he did well. What was the rest? Did you say what was Hall's? 5.
Hall was just under 5. Murphy were calling a 6. Tino was just literally 26 instead of 25. You know what I mean? 5.2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandro was exactly 25, and Ursula was 26, 5.2.
Oh, I can't get bloody is on it. It's too low on the screen. So we won't do that anyway. So it doesn't matter. So 5, 5, 5, 6 for the subs. They did okay. They did really well. And there you go. There you have it then. So as you can see, not great from the starting lineup.
Bad day at the office.
I mean, that is terrible from the back line as well. But the midfield is absolutely shocking.
You know, and that's where games are won and lost.
Well, yeah, that's what I keep saying. Interesting point that is, isn't it? To have a look. So well done. We've done that one. We'll keep that one on board for future events.
As Foxy's saying. So basically, we're saying 30 seconds of a good performance can get you a good score these days. Absolute bonkers. No, how bad have we fallen? True,
though, isn't it? 30-second performance, you can get a 5. I think the trouble is, it's the encouraging signs that he's actually got onto the pitch. We've been calling for him for so bloody long to give us some support. Well, I mean, like I say, it is Eddie's way of trying to protect all the players, and we know that. Listen, I know it's time's getting on. We've been on for 2.5 hours. Is there anything that we need to just mention in the stars? Is there anything that we've
Well,
seen over the last?
I've been adding those up, so I haven't really been looking.
Okay,
To be
you haven't
fair.
seen. Let's have a quick look at what we've got in there. I'll just put them up on the screen. Trips 3 on 1, and that second goal. Miggy covers Trippier really well. Bruno Joe Litton, embarrassing. James Cuff, fellow happy clapper here. Fulham are a decent side, well coached. Don't think this result is quite as bad as people are making. Hope it gets Eddie a kick where he changes, i.e., starting to Tonali. Yeah. Beard, performance to poor, mate. I can't recognise the lads. Gordon sulking. What the hell is going wrong? Foxy, our system would be okay if we had defenders that could handle one-on-ones. Problem is, don't think we have any. We got top 4 with our wingers doubling up, helping our fullbacks. Now we see 3-on-1 and on our fullbacks. That's what we were saying just when Trips was overloaded 3-on-1 against Fulham. And I think he's got a point. Whatever system Eddie Howe's put out certainly isn't getting the guys tracking back. So I think it's something he needs to have a look at. It's not about the results. Don't mind losing if we play like we tried. But we are simply not turning up, and 10 to 20 minute spells per game is not good enough. Our league position flatters us. I can't disagree with it. We've been screaming for Tonali for 10 months and have launches him on the bench. It's mind-boggling. It is. It's totally mind-boggling, especially when he's played 2 games for the Italian national side. It's crazy. We aren't expected to beat Man City, but if we lose to Everton, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Well,
Wimbledon.
Like I say, we ain't beat Wimbledon yet. The lineup is the problem from Dom. Shaw scores last week. Shaw missed this week. We shouldn't be relying on.
I think I've done all of these ones.
Have you?
Yeah, we did these ones when we did
all of them.
Most. Let's have a look. Start. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I've just. It's all right because we haven't taken them off the screen. Right, I know the last couple because Clouds hasn't. Hello, lads. Missed the show tonight, but as much as I want to be critical on Howe and his team selection yesterday, I want to be honest on the players. J7, Isak, Gordon, and Bruno's attitude was stinking. Well, you haven't missed much because that's literally what was being repeated through the entire show. Biz saying, how can Murphy get a 6 point? 50% of all his touches was giving the ball away. Well, I've just proved it. He didn't give it all away.
Well, I was going to say, no, Murphy, you said, was twice in 45 minutes, wasn't it?
No, he gave the ball away 7 times. They were hard. But obviously, I do give him less points. But obviously, with the assist and the ball that he played across the box, which was really good, that nobody worked on, you can't just say negative points about some of the positive that he tried there. He did try and get us on. But you're right. I mean, 50% of his touches weren't brilliant, but he did contribute to our one and only goal. And like I say, he did try and gee us up from coming on, which was a lot more than the lads that started. Ron's put down, he put our strong players out and they flopped. So we tried to change things at half time, but the team failed him. And I think that's it, isn't it? I think, as a manager, as a head coach now, you can only rely on the lads, the information that you've given to the lads to go out there and perform. And we've said, and we've seen, you can carry most of the team to a degree, but you can't carry 7 in the team and still expect to win. And I think, like I said at the start of the show, in games in the past, even though we haven't performed great individually, what we've done is we've forced a result by hook or by crook. We've actually forced not a right result, apart from obviously the 2 wins, Southampton and Spurs. But the others have just been blooming dogged and just said, "Come on, lads, let's do this." Can't really do a lot against Southampton because of 10 men, but we did fight as a team to keep a clean sheet. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen enough of it this year. I haven't seen that camaraderie. You know what I haven't seen either? If you notice, when Gordon scored that goal the other week, there was no kissing of the badge, no coming into the team. He was literally ran back towards the halfway line, and none of the team actually come to celebrate with him either. But we are chasing the game at that point. So that's what I'm saying. You have got to look at each, because there was some people criticising him on social, and I said, but it depends on where you are in the game. If you just want to get on with it, if you look Murphy, when Barnes scored, they wasn't celebrating that either. They just want to get on with the game. So you have to look at where they're doing this before we critique them. But I understand, people are disappointed and do come with a lot of emotion, and that's why we try and do this stuff the day after.
It was a bad performance. I think
It was bad day at the office,
and that was yesterday, and we've got this weekend to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
So,
God
guys,
for
I've been
alcohol.
yeah, cigarettes and alcohol.
There's the tabs right here.
Did you see him on at the boxing last night?
Oh yes,
Gallagher.
oh yes.
Cigarettes and
It was
alcohol.
it was a good evening. To be fair, I'm sure the Saudis will be happy with that one, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Right,
Riyadh,
yeah, it was good. Did you see all
cracking
the
display.
footballers and stuff? Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
That
all
was
the pop
hell of
stars
a
and stuff.
fight.
It was. Didn't go quite as planned for AJ though, did it?
No.
No, I
So,
thought,
anyway.
but that guy was he knew he hit him a few times, and it just rocked him. And I could see it after that first real big hit he gave him. I thought, here we go, AJ's lose this now.
Right. And as I said in the forum, this is a football forum, not a boxing forum.
Exactly. Let's call it a night, guys, because of the time.
Yeah.
Win, Roy, Steve, Tim, thanks ever so much for giving us your support tonight, giving us your views on where we have obviously gone
wrong.
Yeah, and hopefully it's onwards and upwards from here on in. But for now,
Indeed.
until Wednesday, because
Hope
obviously
so.
don't forget, we've got another watch along on Wednesday against Wimbledon. So that'll be one. And obviously we've got shows tomorrow at midday. Me and Win doing the new show. We'll have something in the evening. I don't know what yet. I don't know what Chris has lined up. And then we'll see you again.
We've got the Predictions League, of course. And by the way, everybody, get your in the WhatsApp prediction group. Get your scores in for Wimbledon there. We'll start
Wimbledon game,
tomorrow night. Well,
exactly.
Tuesday night.
I've got some
The
good
earlier we
news.
do it.
Well,
What's
well,
that?
it's not. It's good news for us. It's not good news for the player or City. Rodri, 99.999% is ACL. Will be out for the season.
For the season, yeah. I heard that. Not nice, is it?
It's not nice,
Good
but
news for us.
that's
exactly.
good news for Joe Linton and
In a
Bruno
bad
and-
way, but
yeah.
take it
Yeah.
all.
But to be fair,
we
it
suffered
is
last
City.
season.
and they have got loads more on the bench to back it up. So I'll take
I'll
that
come
with
up with a
pinch.
plan to stop Haaland.
Yeah. Tie his laces together. That's the
Any
only way.
final thoughts, Tim?
He did all right for me today.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet he did.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
picking him
With your
all
fantasy
season.
team.
Sorry, Roy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick him. I've made a bet with the guy, and I said I'll show you how am I gonna progress in this season's fantasy league without Haaland, and it's gone all shit.
Yeah, me too, mate. It's gone first couple of weeks. You hammered me, but I got great points. After that, it's been awful. I think I've
Yeah,
only just managed to do the mighty win this week by a point or two. Anyway,
Yeah, I got
Tim,
beat.
sorry,
And
mate.
you wouldn't have done that if I'd known how to panny on
Work
with the
it.
stupid
Yeah,
stuff.
well, you and
Because
me
I
both,
would have
mate.
had-
The first time I tried.
I said I started off with Solanke and Haaland up front, and then when Solanke got injured, it took. Well, in fact, Amrit had to do it for us. He changed put Watkins in for
Solanke. Yeah.
for Solanke. And
Oh,
so
it
he
was-
was. Then I had to take him out because he got injured, and I put Xerxes in.
He
And
doesn't play.
I still had Xerxes in yesterday instead of
And both of
putting,
them scored.
because I haven't seen Amrit to play on with it for us and
Oh, bless you.
put Solanke in. put Solanke back in, so that cost us a goal. So if you're saying you only managed to beat me by 1, if I'd had Solanke in,
Yeah.
I would have beat you by 1.
Absolutely. I'm not
And
telling you how to do it.
I said that's me 11. I'm not changing it.
Well, I was up
Yeah,
to
I've got
10.
3 out injured, and I can only change one at a time, so it's crippling me. So,
Anyway,
but hey, it is what it is.
we've got Tim.
Oh,
Tim,
I
any
think
final?
I knocked you down, didn't I? Knocked you into
Yeah,
10.
you did. Hammered me.
Right. Tim, any
Tim,
final thoughts, mate?
I think we've said everything, mate. I think the Man City game, it'd be typical us, wouldn't it, if we turn around with a performance,
Wouldn't it just?
and rock the boat that way. So I think if we play well against Man City, bit of fight, bit of spirit, then that'll help, even if we lose. But obviously, we've got to beat Wimbledon before that, so that's the big one, really.
Where do you stand on Wimbledon in terms of what team would you put out?
Ideally, you want to give Asula a run out, but it is such a must-win game, and it's not going to be easy. I think play Tonali. I think play Tonali. He could play 2 games in a week, couldn't he? Do you know what I mean? He could play Tonali in that, and then play him against Man City. I'd play a fairly strong team. I think some squad players have to be used, definitely. They need the minutes. But I'd play a fairly strong team to get that win secured and keep people's spirits up, stop the impending doom.
Stop the rot.
Aye.
Yeah. Stevie, final thoughts?
I'm just looking forward to Wednesday night now. Just forget what happened yesterday, and let's focus on Wednesday, and just stick out the best team we can stick out that we can win the game. That's all we got to do is just get the goals. We're not going to go beat them 8-0 like we did. We did them in the league last year. But if we can go into the game 3-0, close the doors, and then just concentrate, then ready for Man City.
Spot on. Yeah.
I'm saying 3-1 to the 2 against Wimbledon.
Oh,
I
not
didn't
yet.
realise
Not
it was
yet.
Tuesday.
Do that on Tuesday, man.
It's Tuesday.
I didn't realise it. I thought I was absolutely bang on. It was Wednesday. I'd even written it down. Why have I put down Wednesday? It's Tuesday.
I thought it was
On Tuesday night. Yes,
It's
Tuesday
It's
night.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told us, Els. Else I
Because Wednesday's
I
gonna
wouldn't
be
have turned
hoops
up
and
on bloody
claps.
Tuesday. It's my day off. So I'd written it down as Wednesday. I don't know why.
Have you
Apologies.
seen my
I
lineup?
thought it was Wednesday as well.
So
Well,
did
there
I
you go,
think it was
Stephen.
Wednesday, by the way.
I know it's Tuesday. Yeah.
Me and you would have watched it on the replay, mate.
Man City were complaining because they have got to play on Tuesday.
Yeah, because that of their fixture pile up, isn't it?
They've got what?
That's what they're saying.
Hold it. That's
Have you seen? Did you see my lineup that I made for the Wimbledon game?
Yeah.
So
No.
I went with Dubravka.
Oh, no, it's Tuesday. Tuesday, 9:45, 7:45. That's what it'll be. It's the Wimbledon. So that's what we're doing tomorrow night. Then definitely Wimbledon preview.
Wimbledon preview. Yeah.
So my
Go on,
lineup.
say, right?
So
Yeah,
lineup: Dubravka, Trippier, Kraft, Burn, and Target on the left if he's fit. And then I've got Longstaff, Bruno, and Willock. And I've got Murphy on the right, Miggy on the left, and Usul up front. And that should be enough to beat
Beautiful.
them.
Beautiful.
Should be enough to beat them.
Yeah, man. I can
It
see
should be enough
I
to
can see
beat
it.
them. You're absolutely right.
Should be enough.
It's
Easy.
crazy.
And
But
then
there's no way I'd be putting that team. If Eddie put that team out, I would want him sacked tomorrow.
no, but they'll beat them. And I don't want Gordon or Isak even on the bench. Not even on the bench.
Well, we shouldn't need
with
it
that.
anyway. But like I say, we could have
But
a go
would you
at
drop
that.
Gordon? Would you drop Gordon for his form?
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? I'd definitely
Yeah.
drop Gordon for his form.
Aye.
I'd give somebody
Yeah.
else a shout.
Aye.
Well, on that basis, you drop Bruno as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But the both would go for me.
Yeah, if we drop
Anyway.
Bruno, we can use
That's
use
for
Jolie.
another
That's
show,
tomorrow.
folks.
That's for
So what I
tomorrow.
need-
Anyway. Yeah. Come on board tomorrow night if you're free, guys, and give us your input. Anyway, thanks everybody in the background. Thanks for everybody watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, all of you guys, before you go. It just helps us get further as a channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to all the mods in the background for giving us your support and the chatters, as always. Beer Vikings absolutely hammered Murphy as normal. I was looking and laughing through it while you guys were chatting. He's absolutely crippled. I haven't got a chance to put it up on the screen, but we know what he's like. Thanks again to everybody that's contributed on the panel, giving us your support as normal. And until the next time, it's a goodbye from them.
And it's a goodbye from them. How
Yeah.
are the
Hoof the
lads?
twat.
Bruno,
Lads and
hoof the
lads.
twat.
Oof the twat. Yeah, exactly. See you later, guys.
Good luck.
Ta-da.